Hello, everyone. It's William here at Allegory Gallery, and I am in my home office. Let me think if I maybe turn things away a little bit from the air conditioner. That might help. I don't know. How are y'all doing? How's it going? I hope you're all doing well out there. It is Thursday. It's Thursday. Whew. I'm just, I'm like, ooh, I'm greasy. No, glistening. We'll say I'm glistening today. I hope you're doing well. Let's see. Kimberly's out there. Mind Beaded Bliss. Thank you, Kimberly, for joining us. Jennifer's out there. Hello, Jennifer. Thank you for joining. Glad to see you here today. Norma's here. Hello, Norma. So, I tried streaming a little bit on Instagram today too. So we'll see if anybody pops up over there or not. Um, who knows? I never know. But we're gonna try it. We haven't tried it in a while. And I feel bad. We do have a few people out there who sometimes watch us, so I wanted to go out there just in case because I haven't lately. So here we go. Anne is here. Hello, Anne. Thank you for joining us. Whenever I do go on Instagram, though, it makes my comment box really, really, really small. So that's one of the reasons I don't do it, is because I have a really hard time scrolling through the comments when I do. But we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, how are you all doing today? I hope you're doing well. I have a box, well, a bag of things here that we are going to take a look at today. Sorry. I literally just kind of got in the door and sat down. Susie's here. Hello, Susie. Susie brought me lunch today. I appreciated it so much. It was so good, and it has kept me going all afternoon and here into the evening. So I'm very thankful for that. Anybody else out there? Say hi if you're out there. Let me know you're here. It's always nice to have feedback and comments. It really helps the show. And it helps me feel like there are people actually that watch us out here. And so such a nice surprise from Susie. It really was. It really was. Sorry, I need to take a drink. Of course, the moment I had this up and saying we're going to go live soon, the moment I go live is when I start coughing. So we'll see. Hopefully that ends. Hey, Michelle, thank you for joining us. If I missed you in the comments, I'm sorry, because like I said, the comment box is literally, it's like a box this big, and you have to kind of scroll like this, and you see one line at a time. Because whenever I go live on Instagram, we go through StreamYard. StreamYard allows us to post comments. Like, I could type out comments to you all. I don't know why they do that, because I'm not going to sit here typing out comments to you all. I'm just going to talk. But they have a box to type out comments. And when you go live on Instagram, the comments don't transfer over. Instagram doesn't allow that. So they put up this big notice that says, can't post comments to some destinations, learn more. And you can't get rid of that. You can't be like, okay, I know, I go live every day, I know how this works, let's disable this box. So you kind of have to deal with it every time. But it is one of the reasons that stops me from going live on Instagram, because it's very hard to read all your comments. And you know we like to read all of your comments. Whoa. Let's see here. Susie says, I remember no cucumbers. Yes, thank you. No cucumbers. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm not a cucumber fan. I will eat them sometimes. You know, I like cucumbers sometimes. They are, sometimes when they're small, they taste a little, I don't know, maybe it's just my head. But I like to put, what do I put on them? I put on like sugar and vinegar, which might seem weird, but then I eat them, and they are okay. But by themselves, not a fan. Pickle them, put some sugar and vinegar on them, and then they're good. Anna is here. Hello, Anna. Thank you for joining us. Glad y'all can be here today. I pulled some things today that are like summer inspired. And, that varies. As I was looking through things, I realized, um, sometimes when you think summer, a lot of things that you think of as summer can also be other seasons. Um, I pulled some things today, like I think I have some purple and silvery things, and I'm like, but that could also be like winter, but they're kind of like bright purple, so maybe that's summer. Um, so these are kind of like summer inspiration with an asterisk that means like Williams summer inspiration choices, obviously. Um, because it's definitely not always, it's not going to be maybe summer for everyone, for everything. Somebody's going to be like, oh, that could be winter, or oh, that could be, fall. I was trying to look for some yellows because, that's my thing lately, yellow. But a lot of the yellows I found had a lot of browns with them or deep kind of carnelian oranges. And I was like, that's kind of fall, even though it's a bright yellow. So, but then if you're in the desert, yellows and browns, and that's pretty summery. So, you know, um, I'm one of those people, I trip myself up more than anything. Like I finally tried to just tell myself, I'm like, William, I do talk to myself too when I'm pulling things. I'm like, William, get out of your head and just pick things that say summer to you. It doesn't matter if somebody is going to say, oh, that looks like fall, because to them it might. Everything might. A lot of this stuff you could say is spring inspiration, right? Because spring, summer are close, and there's flowers and there's different colors. And so it's my summer inspiration. You've got me today, so you got to deal with my pickings and my interpretation of summer inspiration. Um, Hello, Angela. Thanks for joining us. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, so that's what I did. Hope you're all doing well. My day was, other than the wonderful surprise lunch, I went out with the cats today. If you saw, I posted a reel on my timeline, and then I shared it, I think, on the Allegory Gallery stories, maybe? I don't know. Some days I don't know what I do. There's a lot to do on social media. And so some days I just start posting and go crazy with it, and I share to places and I do things. Um, and then I can't remember what I did, uh, I don't know if it's, I haven't been diagnosed with ADHD. I've talked about this before, but I definitely think got it, because I definitely do things on autopilot sometimes, or I think I did things today and it was yesterday that I actually did the things. Isn't that weird? I don't know if y'all do that, but I have this little app. It's supposed to help with anxiety and ADHD and all that. And it's called Finch. And I don't know if any of y'all use it, but you got this little bird thing that you like become friends with, and every time you complete something, it gives him points and gives him energy, or him, her, they. Mine is a they. Gives them energy, and they go off on a trip, and they explore for like 6 or 7 hours out of the day, and then they come back at the end of the day and tell you about their exploration. And your goal is to complete as many tasks on your list that you've set up for yourself as possible. And I do this every day. I'm on I don't know, 100 some day, that I've been doing this to try to, certain things, just make sure I do them in my day, and kind of try to build routines. Although sometimes I find that I'm not doing them when I should. So my morning routine, it was originally to help me get a morning routine and an evening routine going. And sometimes I do the things at night that I was supposed to do in the morning, and vice versa. But at least I'm getting more stuff done, I guess. I don't know. Not forgetting to do as much, taking time to do breath work, which is on there. Sometimes meditating, which is on there. Getting some morning sun, which is on there. Taking a 10-minute walk, things like that, just to try to, even out the anxiety, depression, ADHD, whatever everything I've got going on is. And so I do this, and there are so many days. It allows you up until about 3, I think 3 a.m., because that would be West Coast time, right? So it allows me up to 3 a.m. to do things for that day. And some days I'll be laying in bed, and at about 2 in the morning, I go into the Finch app and I'm like, oh, I'm going to see what he said on his trip today. And then it says, start your day. And I'm like, I swear, I was out with the cats this morning. I did this while I was sitting out there watching the cats. I started my day. And there are so many days that I swear that I have done the things. And I open the app and I'm like, didn't open the app today. I do the things. I always like, some are very simple. Some are just like, get up. That's for when you're having a really hard day. I have it as just get out of bed. One is make your bed, which I never, ever used to do. I never made my bed. I was like, what is the point of making your bed when you're just going to get back into it? So now I'm trying, for the last, 100 some days, I'm trying to make the bed, which mine is very easy. I don't go crazy with it. I don't do tuck corners. I don't do all that. I just, make sure the sheets and the comforter and the pillows are kind of in a position, and that's good enough. And it's easy since we're sleeping in the other room and we have little beds. The king size bed was always a pain to try to make the bed, which is one of the other reasons I didn't do it. So some of them are easy like that. And so I still do them every day, but sometimes I don't open the app. And I totally 100% believe I opened the app in the morning and didn't. So sometimes that happens to me. I lose track of things. Kimberly's going back, so I'm going through the comments now. I think all of the colors can be in every season, right? You can mix and match things for sure. Susan is here. Hello, Susan. Thank you for joining us. And says, I saw that you were out with the cats. Yes, I was. I was out with the cats. Oops, let me see here. Yeah, the cats and I went out today. Gilbert did not. I don't know. Gilbert was kind of hiding around the house today, and I don't know why. I hope he's feeling okay. But he's eating. He's been around here a little bit, but I think it's because I got up early this morning, got up, go to the bathroom, take my medication, and then I fed the cats, and then I went back to sleep. And I do this often because I get up when I've only had like 4 to 5 hours of sleep, and that's not enough to get me through the entire rest of the day that I have. So, Charlie's out there. Says, hi, I'm organizing the basement, so I'll be popping in and out. Nice. I need to organize our basement. It's a good idea. But yeah, a lot of times I wake up very early and too early because I've just gone to bed at like 2 or 3 or 4 in the morning, and I wake up at 6 or 7 or 8. And for a lot of people, that's when they get up. For me, I've just had a few hours of sleep. So I get up and I feed the cats because they're usually waiting at my door when I open the door. And then they get to lay back down, or whatever they do whenever I lay back down. And I think today it just timed it that when I was finally getting up, Gilbert had passed out. Like, he was under the bed upstairs, passed out. So I was worried he wasn't feeling good because he's usually down with us hanging out, but he was not today. And I think I just caught him at that time when he fell back asleep. But he didn't get to go out with us because he wasn't down there. But Barnaby and the girls and I went out today, and Barnaby ate a bunch of grass, and which makes him throw up. I think he does that when he feels he needs to cleanse his stomach or whatever they do. Cats do that. All of our cats have done that from time to time. They eat the grass, throw it up, and it helps clean them out, keep them fresh, I guess. I don't know. So he went out for a little bit, ate the grass, and then wanted to go back in pretty quick because once he throws up, he's usually done outside. He wants to go back in. And so then the girls and I walked around and kind of hung out a little bit. Michelle says, I have that, William, but haven't been playing with it for a while. Oh, the Finch thing? Yeah, it's okay. I don't use it as much as I should. I have a really hard time building routines for myself. I have a really hard time saying I'm going to stick with doing this. And it's just, I think because I'm trying to sometimes force myself into something that I'm not. Like and Andrew keeps not yelling at me about this, but asking me like, why are you doing that to yourself? Like I've been trying to make myself a morning person. And because I feel so guilty when I get up late. I will get up sometimes around noon. And when you think about it, if you're getting to bed, at 3 or 4 in the morning, that's 8 hours of sleep. And so, and I generally like 8 to 9 hours of sleep is what I feel good on. So I'll get up at 11 or noon. And if I wake up in the middle of the night, that interrupts it. And sometimes it pushes it, So I've been trying in my head to convince myself that I should become a morning person when my entire life I have never, ever, ever, ever been a morning person. But I read all these things and I watch all these things about how great it is to be a morning person. And I think I'm trying to build routines that just are never going to work. And I'm just disappointing myself by doing this. Instead of dealing with the guilt and realizing that I shouldn't feel guilty just because a lot of the world does the morning thing, but I am one of those people whose rhythm is not in the morning, and that's not something to be guilty about. I need to get over that instead. So a lot of times I download these apps and stuff with the hopes of changing pretty much who I am, which is really, I think, not the brightest thing to try to do, right? It's not the thing, like, my natural rhythms are not the problem here. So I need to, I think, look at that a little closer, but yeah. So the app helps me do some things, but some things are probably never going to happen. And I need to stop feeling bad about that. Hello, Susie. Thank you for joining us. The breathing really helps on that app, right? It does. It is good. Let's see. Anna says, I'm working on a list like that too. Which list is that? Like a routine kind of list? Like that kind of thing? That's good. What's your list have on it? Susan says, oops, not making the bed or folding the laundry. Up there, the comments just skipped, and now I have to go all the way back. Up. Okay. Agreed, I can't do the morning routine, I just lose sleep. Charlie, I'm sorry, I can barely see the comments, so I'm going to jump off of Instagram. I hate to do this, but it's really difficult to read the comments on here when I'm on Instagram. So Charlie, if you want to keep watching, I know you go on YouTube, so please watch us on YouTube, because I want to hang out with you, so we barely get to see you. Says I can't, I just lose sleep. Yeah, right? It's just losing sleep. And I like your comments, but I can't use the comments with this. So I'm going to log off of Instagram and watch us on YouTube, Charlie. Come join us. That's why we don't go on Instagram, by the way. I was saying that earlier. I can't read the comments. It gives me this tiny little box to try and scroll, like, and half my finger fits in it. So I'm going to log off of Instagram. Sorry, any of you Instagram watchers. I think Charlie's the only one out there right now. Join us on YouTube, Charlie, okay? I'm going to end it over there. And hopefully the comment box goes away. Probably won't. Probably just ended it for nothing. It didn't go away. Didn't go away at all. And it made my screen. What is going on? Okay. There we go. There we go. Wait a second. Let me see something. Yeah, see, they want you to stream that way. There we go. Okay. And now all my comments left. I swear, this is going to make me crazy. Yeah, every comment I had up until 3 comments ago just now went away. Let me try turning it again this way. What is going on? Don't do that. Yep, every single comment just went away. And then it just posted that stupid link that it tries to convince me to post every time, and it got me this time. Oh, let me delete that comment. No, I'm not sharing these. Delete that comment. Sorry, everybody. Yeah, Mercury is retrograde right now, and I am feeling it technology-wise. So I just missed. Oh, now all the comments are starting to come back. Well, some of them. Some of them. Okay, I'm working on a list like that too. Oh, not making the bed or folding the laundry drives me bonkers. That was the comment I was trying to get back to. I think they're coming back. They're filtering back in. I don't know what's happening, y'all. Yeah, that both those things do. It makes me more bonkers sometimes to do them and worry about doing them, but probably I should do them because making the bed has been easy, and it does feel nice to get into the bed when it's made at night. So I don't know. I don't know if that's just me feeling like I'm more normal and making me feel better about my guilt of not making the bed because that's what people expect. I don't know. That's a whole other thing too. It helps having a friend on the Finch. Yeah, I don't have any friends on Finch. So that is I've been missing out on the friend part of it. The outfits are really cute. I know mine. They are all decked out. They are decked out. I have saved up so much money on that app, and I just buy them things. Susan says, I have a mental list of things I do every day. I try to get at least 6 things done daily, including laundry, bed making, cats, etc. That's good. That's good. Kimberly says, I feel like I should do something like what you are talking about. With the app, I need to make myself get back on a schedule, get out of bed, take a shower, maybe make the bed. Maybe that will make me feel better throughout the day. That's what I was thinking, like, and it has kind of helped me do certain things. I don't pay for the app, so there are more things that you can do if you pay. They start you out with a free trial, and there's all this stuff, and then of course you lose some of it when you don't do it. So I think that's also part of it too, because I don't really want to pay for it. I can't really afford to pay for it. So I don't know, but it does feel good to get certain things done, and it goes with that whole thought process of like do the hard things first. Like making the bed for me shouldn't be a hard thing, but some days getting out of bed is really hard for me, as I was talking about the other day, just yesterday. Which I'm feeling better today. A lot of you have sent good energy. I appreciate that. A lot of you sent a lot of love. It has helped. I do feel better today. The world looks a little brighter today, but there are days that I have a hard time even getting out of bed. So making the bed is like, really? Like you want me to get out of bed and make the bed? But knowing it's on the app and knowing that it'll help me make that little bird go on his little journey and fulfill part of my day, has helped. So, and then some other things don't feel as hard because I said I've already done this. If I can do that, I can do this too. So it does kind of, it's that, and that's what it is. It's doing the hard things and making it a gamified way kind of to do it. Michelle says you can make a list on there too. Yeah, you can make your own items. So if you don't pay for things to choose from, you can make your own. Susan says, William, guess where we had lunch and what we ate for lunch? Did you have Subway veggie? Because that's what I had from my friend Susan today. Hello, Sandra. Thank you for joining us. I am just catching up on all the comments. So if you said hi a long time ago, which kind of you did about 10 minutes ago, I'm sorry. I'm just catching up now. I've been yammering on. Chris is here again. Hello, Chris. Thanks for joining us again. Um, Jennifer says, I get it. If you wake up later, you feel like the day is wasted or something. I've never been a morning person either. Now that I'm older, sometimes I reverse my sleep-wake schedule by staying up late so much. Yeah, I have never been a morning person. I have always been a night person. From the moment I can remember, like, my mom worked the night shift. When it was summer, I didn't have school the next day, probably even when I did have school the next day. I would stay up watching TV waiting for her. Um, like, it was nothing for me to be up as a kid, even a very young kid at 2 or 3 in the morning. Um, I have always been that way. And society has always made me feel like there's something wrong with that. Um, if I talk to people and I say I wake up most days at noon, most people look at you like you are wasting your time, like you are lazy, like you are depressed, even when I wasn't feeling depressed. Like they just look at you like something is wrong with you, or something is wrong, or you're doing things wrong. And I know I shouldn't care, but it has happened so often in my life that I have for a long time even guarded. Like I don't talk about when I wake up. And you may have noticed this. I've only recently really been talking about the hours when I wake up. Um, for a long time, I would say I go to bed late, and I would say I wake up sometimes late, but I would never say when, because there's just this stigma attached to waking up late, when really you're not waking up late. You're getting 8 or 9 hours just like what other people should be. You're just up a lot longer at the night time. Um, so really, there should be nothing wrong with it. But because so many businesses have decided that they start at 8 or 9 in the morning or earlier, and that's when they do, and that makes sense for people who are the majority of people who are daytime people. But for people like me, it's always been very hard to work. I'm very glad we have our own business, because working a real job was honestly very hard for me. It was not an easy thing because it fought against my normal rhythms of sleep and waking time. And it made me feel bad about myself, because I'm like, the whole world does this. Why can't I do this? Why is this so hard for me? And it's not that it was hard for me. It was hard. It's just the wrong time for me. Let's see here. And it says things that help my anxiety list. Yeah, it's good to do that, I think. And I'm trying to do more of that. Let me see here. It just jumped to the bottom of the comments again. There we go. Norma says, I had a total Mercury retrograde screwed up day on Tuesday. Oh boy. It's not good. And says, nah, no reason for you to be a morning person. Better to get up whatever your 8 hours are. That's what I think. I wish more people thought like that. And people are coming around now. Like, as people are learning that there are other rhythms and, what do they call them? Chronotypes. There are other chronotypes in the world. It's starting to spread. The internet is great for some things. It's terrible for some things, but it's great for some things. And getting the word out of what other chronotypes are, and that not everyone functions on this schedule, really helps. And the more people that realize that there are other types in the world, the more the less we get looked at like we're wrong. But thank you. And so this is a different focus, but I watch this organizer who talks about using your natural style to create systems, habits that work for you. I like that approach. Not really a different focus. That's exactly. I would please pass me that information of who that is, because that could be very interesting. Susan says, my brother was always a night person. He was just hardwired that way. Yeah. I got it from my mom. My mom is definitely a night person. Even my grandmother, my grandfather was definitely an early morning person, and he would get up and, he got up at 4 or 5 in the morning a lot of times, but he went to bed a lot of times like 9:30. I think is generally the latest. Sometimes, as he retired, he would stay up and like watch the 11 o'clock news sometimes. But my grandmother, when we would visit, she would be up. She would watch the news. She would watch Johnny Carson, um, which was after the news, and sometimes get into David Letterman. So even that was pretty late. And my mom, that was her mom. My mom was the same way, night person. Still is kind of. She still gets up early now sometimes, but she, as they say, as you get older, you sleep less. And I think that's generally what's happening. But she still is up at night. Like usually, by the time I'm done with the lives and I do all the invoicing, do all that stuff, that's when I usually get in touch with my mom sometimes for the day. And sometimes it's at midnight or 1 in the morning and we're just talking back and forth. But that's when that's how we are hardwired. Norma says, that sounds like a good approach to me. And I know, me too. Sue says, yes, if we don't go to lunch with our lunch buddy, we go to Subway's since it's next to the grocery store. That's great. We had the same thing today. Anne says, does anyone here use the Calm or Headspace app? I've had those recommended to me. Apparently I seem stressed. I think I'll never use it, but sometimes I do start after I've had things a while. I have Calm. And it became one of those things that I had a free year trial. I think they gave me a year trial. I think it was with American Express. And American Express was running a year trial of Calm. And so I got it. And it's one of those things that I keep forgetting to cancel, and it renews on me. But you know what? Because it has renewed on me, and because I do have it, and I feel like I need to use it, I do like Calm. I've never tried Headspace. I've tried Aura, A-U-R-A, I think, Aura. And that one was okay. I kind of liked it. It was a little bit more, I think, kind of more meditation focused, which was good. Calm is meditation focused too, but they have like night stories and they have short ones and long ones. I kind of liked Aura and Calm. If I had money, I would probably use both of them still. But I like Calm. I don't use it that much. There's another one that, and I can't remember the name of it, that I got a free trial of. And it uses the flashlight on the back of your phone. And you turn the flashlight toward yourself at night and you close your eyes. And it flashes the lights in your eyes to try to relax you. And it's supposed to do some kind of sensory stimulation. And there are some nights, even though I don't pay for it, they have a few of them on there that are free. The thing with it is there's not a lot of them, even if you pay for it. So it wasn't worth it to me to keep everything. But there's a few, and it will help me fall asleep sometimes. It helps me kind of get into a different mentality before bed. And I do fall asleep pretty easily to that. And I think it's just because you're focused more on the lights and the flashing than anything. And it takes you away from your thoughts. But there's supposedly some science behind it too. And so that one I like. And so those are the three probably that other than Finch, but as far as like falling asleep and calming down, I do like Calm. I liked Aura, and I like whatever that flashing one is. Kimberly says, my favorite work schedule is the graveyard shift. I prefer being up at night. Yeah, I'm glad a lot of you are like this too, because it's good to be with people who understand. Like all my life, I was mostly surrounded by morning people. My friends in school were mostly all morning people. And so they just didn't understand. They didn't. They were like, I'm ready to go in the morning. And they wanted to do everything early in the morning together. And I'm like, They wanted to have breakfast together. And I'm like, my breakfast is like at noon. Like that's when everyone else is eating lunch. That's when I'm eating breakfast. And I miss out on a lot of breakfast foods because a lot of restaurants stop serving breakfast at a certain time. So breakfast for dinner was always like a special treat because I rarely had actual breakfast. Um, Norma says, I have the Calm app because they had to pay once for a lifetime subscription a couple years ago. I rarely use it, although I do like it. Michelle says, my mom worked the night shift, so we were raised that way. There were times when we went to work with her. I did too. I would go with my mom to work sometimes on the night shift. And there was one other artist in the building um, that was in the room next door to where my mom worked. And he would sometimes be there at the night shift. So he was a night person too. Um, and it was kind of nice to be around other night people. Sue says, your brain is just hardwired for night, not day. I had other family members who were that way too. Yeah, it's the way it is. And you know what? There's a reason. For what, hundreds of thousands of years, we were hunter-gatherers, and you needed people who stayed up all night. You needed people who were awake at all hours to protect the tribe or to protect the community or the group. And there were wild animals, there were all different things that could have happened. You wanted to have people who were awake at various times. And I just would have been one of those people that was awake at night, watching out for things in the middle of the night. Michelle says, our son automatically is a night person. Yeah. Susie says, I'm retired, so I may not go to bed until 2 or 3 a.m. If I get up later, so be it, right? That's why I'm glad we work for ourselves. Like, it's a hard thing to have a small business, but it would be so hard for me to work another job unless maybe I worked, like a night shift somewhere. Anna says, I use the free parts of Calm. Susan says, my grandmother used to stay up until the wee hours of the morning and play cards with her old lady friends. Nice. Susie says, when I was little, I would sneak downstairs and watch Johnny Carson. I didn't have to sneak downstairs. My parents and grandparents, I was always allowed to watch. And so that was one of those things. Now, David Letterman, I think sometimes my grandmother preferred I didn't watch. But Johnny Carson, I was allowed to watch. David Letterman could get a little bit more risque, right? Susan says, I listen to music called Soma, which has several electronic and ambient channels. Nice. Anna says, Anne, will you share your organizer name? Yes, please do. Hi, Amanda. Thanks for joining us. Teresa says, I am both. I get up early around 5 a.m. and go to bed around 2 a.m. That's kind of, we talked about this in the D-Stash group. That's pretty much Andrew's schedule. His is different. He goes to bed at different times, but he only sleeps, 2, 3, 4 hours at most at a time. And so he usually is going to bed around 10, and he'll get up around 1 or 2, and sometimes noon. Like sometimes he only sleeps like 2 hours or so. But usually when I'm getting up, trying to get my day started around 10 or 11, he's going to bed. And then he sleeps for a few hours while I'm up at the cottage. And then usually we regroup at night together to do something, sometimes at the cottage together, and then do the live together. Hello, Teresa, by the way. Let's see here. When I worked at night, I loved driving at night with no traffic. That is one of the best things. Like when Andrew and I take a trip, we love driving at night. I actually don't mind driving in the morning. He prefers to drive all night. I feel like sometimes my night vision isn't what it used to be. So now it's a little bit harder for me. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like my rods and cones don't switch over as often or as quickly anymore. So it's I'm okay once I'm in the dark for a while, but I feel like that transition, like if there's any headlights or it takes my eyes a longer time to adjust back to darkness. And maybe that's just me overthinking it too. It could be because I do that a lot. But driving at night with no traffic, when there is no traffic, is so much nicer. So much nicer. Let's see here. I like the meditation by Max Heinstein called The Well. It's very calming for me. Is that in the Calm app, or is that just somewhere else? Because there's one in the Calm app, and I forget, it's called the Midnight Train or something like that. And I used to listen to that one over and over and over again. And I forget who reads it. But there's also one by Harry Styles, and I like his story too. And it's not a meditation, it's kind of a sleep story, they call them. Let's see. Chris says, me too, Teresa, and I take a nap during the day. I used to be a big day napper, but I'm not a napper anymore. I don't generally nap. Sometimes I'll fall asleep after dinner, which is usually at midnight or 1, and I'll nap for like a half hour, and then get up and keep doing some stuff. But a lot of times too, if I do happen to fall asleep at that hour, usually I'll just end up like taking a shower and going to bed. Let's see here. Susan says, I don't know anyone who doesn't like breakfast food. I know, right? It's so good. Anne says, breakfast food is number 1. I love breakfast food, says Teresa. Vicky says, my perfect schedule is to get up early, take a nap mid-afternoon, and stay up until midnight. That's good too. If my day were more suited to taking a nap, I would feel better about getting up in the morning. Because I do naturally wake up now, usually, like even if I go to bed at 2 or 3, like I went to bed about 3 last night, and I got up at like 8 today. And so that's just kind of a natural thing. There's also a thing like a 2-phase sleeper. Some people sleep in 2 different phases. And I think I am one of those people. It used to be a big thing, back in the early 1900s, the second sleep. You'd sleep for 4 hours or so, and then you'd get up and you'd do some things in the middle of the night. Usually that's when the babies were made, but you would do things sometimes right, sometimes, make new humans. And you do that for a few hours, and then you'd go back to sleep for like 4 hours or so, give or take. And I definitely notice that I sleep for a good 4 to 5 hours, real hard usually, and then wake up. And then get up, and I feel good about doing things. And then, like, I've been trying to get up, feed the cats, and go right back to bed, but I usually don't fall asleep for another hour or 2. Which I should just get up and do stuff, but my anxiety tells me to not. But I think that's natural for me. I sleep 4 to 5 hours. If I could get up and do things for like 2 to 3 hours and then sleep again for 4 to 5 hours, that would be great. But that really throws off my schedule if I do that. I start to get too late into the day, into the afternoon, with my sleeping, and that makes it really hard to get things done. Even though we have our own business and we kind of do things on our own time, it really throws a lot off, because I do still have to interact, with doing grocery shopping and doing certain things. So, I guess depending on what I did for those 2 to 3 hours when I was awake, maybe I could even that out. But yeah, that's hard. But there is a thing. Some people do a 2-phase sleep. Susie says, I remember when Carson had a drink and a cigarette and did the show. That's funny. How things have changed, right? And says, thanks for the info on these apps, William. That helps. You're welcome. There are other apps I've tried, and if you ever want to know, I can try and go through my app list. If you have questions on a certain app, because I have tried a lot of these, at least the free trials. But there are certain ones that I'd be willing to pay for if I could. And like I said, that's Calm, Aura, and I don't think I would pay for the one that flashes the lights, because like I said, there doesn't seem to be much added. They have a very sparse library right now, because it's a new thing and it's supposed to be science backed, and there's probably only so much they can do. But it is worth, I would like to contribute to them probably if I could, because I like what it does. But yeah. And then this is Max Heistein YouTube channel. Okay, so it's a YouTube channel. Uh-oh, Chris finds breakfast food overrated. What? How is that? How is that? Toaster, waffles, and butter and real maple syrup for the win, says Jennifer. Yeah, I love waffles. We don't have a toaster, so I don't eat a lot of those things anymore. But I like waffles. I grew up on more French toast, though. That was our big treat. Like, my mom would make pancakes a lot and French toast. And I still love French toast. That was like more of the treat. We would often usually, like, she would get up, she would come home, and she would make us breakfast when we were little kids. After she worked the night shift, she'd come home, make us breakfast before she went to bed, and put it in the fridge for us to reheat in the microwave in the morning. Because she often was still sleeping. She would wake us up for school, but it was up to us to get ourselves ready. And so, there were 3 years difference between my brother and I, so I was generally old enough at that time to get us both going. And so we would reheat the stuff, and we would do, sometimes it was cream of wheat, which I have not had in a long time. And I kind of wonder if I would still like cream of wheat, but I used to love cream of wheat. The chocolate variety. I don't know if there were others, but we always had the cocoa wheats, I think they were called, cocoa wheats. And then she would make us pancakes with it had something else in it, and I can picture it in my mind. I don't think it was buckwheat, but I can't think of what it was. I can picture it came in a glass jar. Wheat germ, maybe wheat germ pancakes. Is that a thing? I feel like that's what she added to the pancakes sometimes, wheat germ. And she was always very good about trying to make things nutritious. Like, we grew up, I never had a piece of white bread until I went to a friend's house and they had white bread, because my mom always bought like wheat or the full grain to try and be more nutritious whenever we did eat it. So she would always add things to the food generally to try and up the nutrition content. So we had cocoa wheats, we had pancakes, sometimes French toast, but I feel like that was more rare, and that was more of a treat. And then sometimes we would just have like toaster strudels, and so if we had those in the freezer, she knew she could, we could go on that for a while. Let's see. Oops. Okay, let's see here. Susan says, I wish I could find an app of the night skies. That would be calming. There is an app where you can look at the constellations, but I don't know if that's what you mean. I think when the iPad came out, it was really big because it was big on the screen, and you could, as you moved your iPad, you would tell it what hemisphere, like it knew your location. And when you would look up, you could hold it up to the night sky, and it would show you where the constellations would be. But I don't know if that's what you're talking about, though. Let's see here. You have described my life. It is far from perfect, says Chris. Oh boy. Teresa likes Max Heistein. I listen to him often. I don't know that name. I don't know how that's never come up, or I've never noticed it. Susan says, my mother made the best French toast. I can't replicate it. I feel like those things, like sometimes we would stay over at my grandmother's, and she would make us French toast. That was when I had French toast the most. And her French toast was very simple, but it was so good. It was so good. I would eat so much French toast. And I feel like, sometimes it's just hard to replicate that. My French toast is definitely not as good as my grandmother's French toast was. And she didn't make it all the time. It wasn't like a specialty thing that she knew how to do. she just did it well, and it hit the spot every time. Um, let's see here. Jennifer says French toast was the first thing I don't know what it says. My mom taught me how to cook. For some reason, the comments are wild. Her special dish was crepes. I made crepes when I was young. I got really into it and was making crepes all the time. And they were pretty good, actually. Pretty easy. Let's see here. My dad could eat breakfast 24/7, so can my partner, Carl. I can get tired of it. I do love biscuits and gravy, though. See, biscuits and gravy was not a thing I did. It's okay, but most of the gravy now is beef or chicken stock flavored, and I can't do that. But I never really got a lot into the biscuits and gravy. Give me the French toast, give me waffles, give me pancakes. I don't eat as many pancakes. I don't know why, but I like throw some berries on stuff, put some whipped cream or powdered sugar and syrup. Like, it's pretty much like make it a dessert, and I'll have the breakfast foods. I do love eggs. I've always loved eggs. Let's see here. Susan says, I saw that croissant emoji. Now I want croissants. Oh, croissants are so good. Croissant. Amanda, storms rolling in and out. Severe storm warning so far. Just rain and wind, dark sky. Power off for some time, but I'm fine. Oh boy. Yikes. Vicky says, I don't know your mom, William, but she sounds so cool. My mom is cool. I love my mom. And she did an awesome job at raising two boys, a lot of times by herself. We always had, she had her parents for support, which they were great, and her sister and, brother. But she did a lot, and she did it well, I think. And I think that's, one of the reasons I've always hesitated about having kids for a long time was I was like, I don't know that I can make the sacrifices if I would have needed to that my mom made. And she was happy to do it. That's her, like, we as her kids, that was what she loved being a mom, and always has loved being a mom. And now a grandmother. She loves being a grandmother. And so I don't know. I don't know if that would change or what, but anyway, yeah. Stay safe from the storms, Amanda says Susan. My mother used cinnamon and vanilla in her French toast. My grandmother, I think, did too. And my grandmother would also make cinnamon toast. And it was just cinnamon sugar toast. And it was just cinnamon sugar that she made herself and put it on the toast with some butter. And it was so good. And when I try to do it, it doesn't come out the same. And I don't know why. Okay, let's see here. I never had store-bought bread until I was 24 years old. My mama made bread for us. I make bread now, the cinnamon swirl bread for French toast I make, says Teresa. Wow. Yeah, we did not make the bread in the house. We definitely did not make bread in the house. But Andrew's been making bread lately, and it's been good. Norma says, I put cinnamon vanilla in my French toast too. Nice. Yikes. Man, Chris had mentioned about texting from the bathtub. So I might have to. It's raining so hard and thundering I can hardly hear William. Wow. Kimberly says, I'm not into sweet much anymore, but pancakes, French toast, and waffles are my fave. Yeah, I've never been a big, I'm not a huge sweets person. As I get older, okay, I am a little bit more than I used to be. But like my sweets, I always like to be more from natural things. Like I shouldn't say I was never a big sugar person. I love sugar gummy candies, like straight sugar, like hard lining that sugar with the candies, the gummies, Sour Patch Kids, gummy worms, like that kind of stuff. Love it. Still pretty fond of it. chocolate candy bars and things like that only once in a while. Like I'll get a Snickers, like an almond Snickers usually every once in a while, but I'm not. I have those fudge Oreos that my mom gets me, but I don't buy them myself. If she gets them for me, I've been eating them and I like them, but I won't. Like I can overdo that. I can feel like I'm overdoing chocolate and really sweets like that. Um, but you throw some whipped cream and some berries on some pancakes or some waffles or some French toast. I am all about that kind of sweet. Like I love tarts, like French tarts with the cream and the berries on top, and the glaze they pour over the berries. Like I like that kind of stuff. Um, I was never big into bread by itself. I'm a little bit more now because we make like crostinis and I do like a good like garlic crostini and all that. But um, I still, I eat more of that now because I'm a vegetarian, and honestly, that helps fill me up. Um, when I was eating meat, I was very much like meat and potatoes and vegetables. I love vegetables. Not a lot of breads, not a lot of pastas, starches. I didn't eat a lot of that. Um, and so sometimes it's been harder as a vegetarian to balance a lot of that stuff because I do eat more pastas now and I do eat more breads because that's kind of more of what we eat as a vegetarian, because it's harder to balance out things sometimes and fill up sometimes. So at least for us the way our life is. Um, so yeah, I have changed a little bit, but I still, you know, I prefer fruits and vegetables and natural things like that over a lot of the cookies and cakes and stuff like that. But I do, like Kimberly said, still love French toast and pancakes and waffles. Always have. Kimberly says, Amanda, my husband is on the phone and he is louder than the thunder, so I'm having to turn up the volume. Oh boy. Let's see here. Jennifer says, I loved cinnamon toast, right? We had cinnamon sugar toast. It was so good. Cinnamon sugar toast. Susan says, I love sweets and I can't deny it. Yeah, Andrew is a sweets eater, and we often have sweets because he is a sweets eater. And of course, I'm not going to not eat them, right? Like they're in the house. I'm not going to like buy some cake and then not have some cake. But we would, I would buy a lot less of that stuff if it weren't. I will eat potato chips. Oh, that is my thing. Potato chips over sweets, generally. And that was my grandmother too. My grandmother always had usually potato chips, and she had a lot of times she would have Cheez-Its, so Cheez-Its and potato chips sitting for snacks, or potato chips and um, pretzels. That was a big thing. We had pretzels there a lot. And so potato chips were always there, and it would rotate between Cheez-Its, pretzels, and like the cheesy puffs, and sometimes cheese popcorn. So whenever I was at their house, a lot of times we just always had potato chips. And now it reminds me of her sitting in the evening eating some potato chips. And that's now a lot of what I do. And I love potato chips. And I will eat a whole bag of potato chips in one sitting, no problem. So I try not to get it too often. But yeah. Susan says, have you seen the possums lately? I've not. The one was the last time we saw them. I think Andrew posted about it. I think it was crawling up our vines and hanging out. But ever since we took the catio down because it was falling apart, they have not. They don't have a place to sit up there anymore. So I've not seen the possums in quite some time since Andrew left, and a little bit before that. So it's been a few weeks. But I could just be missing them too, because I don't usually look outside much in the evening out that way where they would sit. and I haven't been going out late at night. Like I sometimes hang out at the cottage with Andrew very late. I've been doing more of my work here. So, yeah. But I thought about them last night. Was it last night? No, 2 nights ago when I took out the trash. And I was kind of like freaking myself out thinking a possum was going to like jump out at me at some point when I came back to the porch. I don't know why, but it made me think of them. Chris says, I do not get the Sour Patch thing. Oh, I love them. I will burn my tongue. I don't know if it happens to all of you, but if you eat enough Sour Patch Kids, whatever is in that, it will burn your tongue. And it will feel like you've burnt it, but it's from the acid or the whatever it is, the sour. I love them. They're one of my favorite candies. Kimberly says, as I've gotten older, my tastes have shifted to the more savory, and I want bold flavors, and sweet tastes bland to me now. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I don't eat tons of sweet. I just realized that a lot of the sweet stuff that's supposedly good doesn't taste good to me. Like, sometimes we'll get some Chips Ahoy or regular Oreos or, just things like that. And sometimes cakes or pastries from the grocery store. They have a deli there, or not a deli. They have a bakery there. And I'll buy them, and I'm just like the pre-packaged foods, especially Chips Ahoy and Oreos, they just don't. They taste chemically. Like I can feel like I taste the chemicals in the Chips Ahoy, so it doesn't make me feel good about eating them. I'll still eat them if they're here, but it does not make me feel like I want to eat them. So we've been buying those less now. And Oreos, I like the fudge ones are pretty good, but just a plain Oreo, my grandfather used to, when he got up early in the morning, like at his 4 or 5 o'clock, he used to get up, make his coffee, and he made really strong coffee, I hear. I never had any because I didn't drink much coffee back then, and it was usually gone whenever he made it for himself and made it real strong. And, but he would have he would sit, and I think he would have 4 to 6 Oreos, and that was his thing in the morning, before my grandmother got up, and because she usually made him breakfast, but he would eat the Oreos, sit with the dogs at the table, at the dining table, and kind of just enjoy his coffee and have his Oreos in the quiet with his dogs, and so Oreos for me have that memory. They were always at my grandparents' house too, and they had a special jar that they were kept in, it was a plastic container, yellow. I think it said cookies on it with a white lid. I actually have it. I took it after my grandmother passed, as a kind of a keepsake. It's broken, and it was broken when up there, so it doesn't keep things fresh. It used to keep the cookies fresh, help keep the air out, but it has after years and years of use, there was a crack in the lid. But I still took it. I have it because it reminds me of them. But he would pull some Oreos out of there, but they were always there for us to pull Oreos out of too. And so, they have a memory for me, but they still don't taste as good as it's more about nostalgia for them than anything else. So, I get it. I think the prepackaged foods, I don't know that I would say that they don't taste as sweet or taste bland. They just don't taste the same. They really taste more chemically and not food. Teresa says, I am more of a savory over sweets. I do like homemade pound cake. Pound cake is pretty good, especially if you put strawberries with it and all that good stuff. Strawberry shortcake. No, that's angel food cake, right? That's angel food cake. I like angel food cake. Pound cake? No, pound cake. I've never eaten a lot of pound cake. But we also don't make homemade pound cake, so there you go. Sandra says, I'm listening in the background, playing with rubies. I got a custom order for a ruby necklace today. That's awesome. Congratulations. Susan says, we keep Ghirardelli's chocolate squares around for my sweet tooth, although I do notice they seem to disappear. My hubs claims he's not a sweet eater. Yeah, I claim that too. Don't want to rat on your hubs, but it's probably him. Because I claim that I'm not a sweet eater, and if there are sweets in the house, somehow I still end up eating them. But it is true. A lot of times I will get cookies for Andrew, and I will get potato chips for myself, or um, fruit for me, and cake for him. Um, just because I don't want to. I don't really feel good after I eat it. Um, but um, yeah, I don't want to feel good after I eat it, or I don't. I want to feel good after I eat it, but I don't. It's okay a lot of times while I'm eating it, depending on what it is, but I don't feel good after I eat a lot of sweets like that. Um, Amanda says, Susan, my husband is the same. Where's my chocolate? That's kind of for me for certain things too. Is I'll buy certain things that normally he says he doesn't like or he doesn't do, and then I'll wake up the next morning and they're all gone. When I put them in the cabinet for me to have the next night, they're already gone. Um, yeah, it happens. And says, as a diabetic vegetarian, I eat mostly veggies. Now with gut issues, many veggies are issues. I eat more pasta, prefer veggies, but have to eat what our bodies tolerate. Yeah, that's a whole other thing too, right? I have found that um, I love apples, like love them, but I don't know what it is. As I'm getting older, apples are doing something to my stomach that is not great. Um, so I will still eat them, but I just have to know that I'm going to have some issues the next day and the next day if I eat apples. And so it's one of those things. Like, I hope the time doesn't ever come where I have to stop eating apples, but it is true. We have to eat what we can tolerate, and like now I stay away from things that I know or have a feeling are going to have garlic in them, because I don't know if the garlic's going to have preservatives, which seems to give me hives. Um, and so, yeah, I don't feel good eating a ton of pasta and stuff, but as a vegetarian, to feel full enough, because I eat a lot. I feel like I don't eat. We don't eat often, but I feel like we eat a lot, and I've always been that way. And when it was meat and potatoes and all that kind of stuff, you could eat a lot or not have to eat as much and feel full. When it's just vegetables, you have to eat sometimes a lot of vegetables to feel full. Um, and so, yeah, sometimes it's hard. And vegetables sometimes are not easy on your system. You're right, Anne. Like I like to snack on carrots and like ranch or carrots and some kind of dip at night. And I did that last night, and I woke up in the middle of the night with some stomach issues, and I think that's why. But I love my carrots, and they help me feel full at night. But yeah, let's see here. Kimberly says, I do enjoy fruit. I don't mind natural sugar. Yeah, me either. That's okay. And says, Sandra, nice. Rubies are a favorite. They're my mom's favorite stone. She loves rubies. So I grew up loving rubies. You know, sometimes we take after our parents and their likes, and before we develop our own. And I still like rubies because of it, though. They're a pretty stone too. How can you not? Kimberly says, and you're so right. Processed sweets like packaged cookies and cakes taste chemically. Yeah, I don't know why suddenly they are. I don't know if there has been a change, or if it's just my taste buds are like detecting it now. But I feel like it's gotten worse lately, a lot worse. Kimberly says, learn to like avocado. That would help. I know. I need to do it. Kimberly says, ruby is my birthstone, so I naturally love rubies. Nice. All right. I've been talking a lot, so we're going to get started with actually looking at some stuff. Thank you all for hanging out and having a good conversation. I have had fun doing this. It's nice to have people chit-chat and be chatty. I like when we find topics we can chat about. I should try and find food topics all the time, right? Sandra, struggling with the design of the ruby Ooh, what's the struggle? Put it up on the design challenge group with some options, and I'm sure people will help you out. Pick out a design. I'm starting to run over things. Let me flip this camera around, and we will get started looking at some stuff today. Hopefully you liked what I picked. We'll see. I had fun picking it. I was in a good mood while I picked it. So hopefully that is reflective in what I picked. We'll see. I'm going to flip my camera. Mirror. No mirror on the camera. There we go. Okay. And I think I need to cut some more papers. I didn't realize that. Let me turn off. Oh, I had to turn off the air conditioner. It's not too hot in here, but it's not too cold. But sometimes that background noise, I have a really hard time with background noise sometimes. It just really, really grates on me. And I don't know if that's an ADHD thing. Like I said, I think I have it. I've been told by people who do that I most certainly do. Because they see the way I am and the things I do and the things I don't do. And they're like, yep, you probably most definitely have it. And sometimes the noise in the background, I can't focus on anything. I always talk about when I'm at a restaurant, I hear everyone in the restaurant except the person right in front of me, because I can't focus on the person in front of me and what they're saying because I can't stop the intrusive background noise. I don't know if any of y'all experience that or not, but that is pretty much my life. So if I'm ever at a place with you and we're discussing things and it looks like I'm straining so hard to focus on what you're saying, it's because I'm straining so hard to focus on what you're saying. Sometimes I probably look really confused to people, and I think sometimes people repeat themselves because I do look confused, but it's really me straining to hear and sort out your voice from everything else. Kimberly recommends throwing some turquoise in. It goes great with rubies. Yeah, it does, right? Yeah, a lot of things go great with rubies, right? Throw in those sapphires, throw in some iolite, depending on the color of the rubies. Iolite or tanzanite would look beautiful with it. Pearls look gorgeous with rubies. I know you've got good pearls, Sandra, but I don't know what your request is. Let's see. Let me do, have I done? Let's see here. We're going to do SIB lots. Summer Inspiration Beads. That's what it's going to be. Kimberly says Rainbow Moonstone is really pretty with it too, right? I agree. I agree. Especially if you've got the ruby that has the nice flash in it, like a cat's eye ruby. Okay, sorry. Taking a drink. Teresa says, I love pearls and rubies together. Me too. Vicky says, I love rubies and pearls together. It's one of my favorite combinations. Sandra said, these are the rubies that Andrew had. Nice. What does your friend want with them? Did they say? I guess not necessarily your friend, your customer. Of course, we call our customers friends. So that's why I do that. But not everyone does that, I know. What do they want? Did they say they want anything with it? Or is it just rubies? Kimberly says, I'm going to have to dig out the rubies this weekend. Oh boy. Rubies go well with so many gemstones. Whatever you choose will be awesome, says Susan. Right? Yeah, it's hard to go bad or go wrong with a nice ruby for sure. Okay, so, oh, how about I show you these first? I forgot about this. I got some of my pottery back yesterday. So, this is one of my newest. I was talking about how I wasn't sure if any of these were going to turn out because I used the light colored engobe on these, and they did. So I'm very happy with that. I used transparents mostly. This one is not as transparent, so you can see it it actually darkened them into a darker color, which is kind of cool. And so I made this little vessel and used the lighter color. I've been using darks like blacks and browns, and so in this one I did the white, or it's actually called a buff speckle. And so I did that, and I did my little squigglies on the inside, and then I did these little dashes on the outside. And I love this color. It's called Fog, and it's a transparent glaze, but it's called Fog, and it's like a green gray. And I love it so much with this, which I'm forgetting the name of right now, but it's a kind of brown, something brown slip, I think it's called. I forget what it is, but I love that combination together. So I put it on this, and I love how it came out. Let's see. Susan said, all this food talk made me go to the kitchen and get a dish of blueberries. Nice. Our blueberry bush has finally given up. It's not producing anymore. We got the last of them, and I'm out of blueberries. But for many, many nights, I was eating blueberries at night. Susan says, oh, that turned out great. Teresa says, beautiful glaze. Vicki says, that's gorgeous, William. Kimberly says, nice snack choice. Let's see here. Sandra says, their birthday is in July. They just said rubies. I'm going to need to talk to him again. Great stone ideas. Thank you, guys. Kimberly says, are you going to put a number on these tonight? On the vessels? Anybody want them? You want to try and bid on these tonight? I can. This is the other one. This is the other one that I did. So it has circular lines on the inside, and it has this crosshatch pattern underneath a pink and purple glaze on these. And on some of these, you can actually, there are probably 5 or 6 layers on the crosshatch. So you can actually see it's thick. That's what I like about doing this, is that I can get actual thickness from these by doing many, 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 many layers. The round on the inside, I probably did 3 or 4 times. These little dots I did more times, so you can feel them a little bit on here. The squiggles on the inside, I only did, I think, twice. So there's not as much of a texture to those. Anne says, I just figured out from the comments that I was not watching in real time. LOL. Now I'm seeing pottery. Welcome to real time, Anne. Welcome back. It's Argyle, says Jennifer, right? Norma says, I'm craving ice cream now, but I don't have any. I was craving ice cream the other night. And Teresa says, I want that one. Okay, well, I will let me see here. I wasn't planning on selling. I was planning on putting these in the online store. But if y'all want them, I got to open the online store because I got to see, this is how I do it. I have to judge my pricing based on my other things. Let's see. This one's a small one. Oops, my screen squished. Jennifer says, your vessels would make great plant pots. I suggest putting holes in the bottom. I can do that if you want to special order something. I don't generally do that. I don't know. I don't know why. I don't generally make plant pots. But I can, if you want to special order something, I can make pots. I can put holes in the bottom. Norma says, such beautiful glaze. Teresa says, I want that one. Okay, well then I'll start the day with these. Let me see. My other latest small one with the design work was 38. So I will do this one at 38. That's SIB1 and SIB2. The bigger ones these days are going for about 48. So I will do 48 on this one, SIB2. If anybody wants them, there they are. Thank you for the interest. I appreciate that a lot. So 38 and 48. Kimberly says you could put some pebbles on the bottom and plant succulents. Yeah, you could definitely do that too. I just feel like if I put a hole in the bottom, that's all they can be. I think that's why I don't do it. Is because if you put a hole in the bottom, they can only be for plants. But if you if you do put rocks or you could use them like that too. For succulents at least. But if you do want plant pots, I can definitely do it. Okay, SIB2 has sold. Thank you so much. I didn't plan on selling these today. I thought they were going to go into the online store. I got to get pictures of them still so that I can show that I actually did some work on my William Tries Things page. So that one is sold. Thank you so much. SIB2 sold. SIB1 is still available if anyone is interested in this little one. This is actually my favorite of the two. Well, I can't say that because I do like the other one a lot too. But I think because this glaze combination, I really like it. And I think this is such a cute little, it's just a cute little thing. This would be great for little drinks. Yeah, I don't know. There it is. SIB1 is still available. If it does not sell tonight, that will go into the online store. Let's see. Okay, now we'll drop this down and SIB3. Well, thank you. I didn't plan to sell them tonight. I didn't think anybody would be interested right away, but I appreciate that. I don't know why I didn't think that. I know people sometimes like my stuff, right? No, you all are really good supporters, and I appreciate it so much. All right. Says also you would not need so much glaze on the inside on plant pots. Yeah, I wouldn't. And you know what? That's another reason I probably don't make as many, because I love glazing. It's like one of my favorite things to do. A lot of people in my class don't like glazing, and my teacher says a lot of people that she teaches don't like the glazing process. They just like dip stuff. But I love the glazing process and sitting there and designing it and glazing it. So yeah. And I think I've got some other people to start liking the glazing process too, because they see what I'm doing, and some other people are now starting to take more time to glaze some of their stuff too. Vicky says, do you sign? Yes. So they're always signed on the bottom. It's a W, M, and a J. A W that morphs into an M that morphs into a J. And so usually on every piece, you'll see the little WMJ on there. Very geometric, kind of it's just line, line, line. Sandra says, OMG, I found some gray pearls that I got at AG, gorgeous with the rubies. Nice. Teresa says, I have a collection of your pottery. I love it. I know you do, Teresa. I appreciate it so much. Thank you, thank you. You are one of my collectors, my jewelry, my pottery. Which some of that jewelry is on its way very soon to you. I have not forgotten. All right. This is SIB3. It was $16, going to be $14. Let me move this. I gotta move this back down again. Maybe not that far down. Okay. This is SIB3. This is dyed howlite. It's made to look like turquoise, but you don't have to pay the price. It actually does look like very nice turquoise. Like turquoise that if you could afford, it would be very expensive. But it's not turquoise, it's dyed howlite. So the price is not like 144. You can practically add a zero to that number if it were real turquoise. It's dyed howlite, and it's done really well, and it looks really nice. So these are little faceted drops of dyed turquoise, dyed howlite to look like turquoise. They're about 10 millimeters by 6.5 millimeters or so, and it is a vintage strand, and the strand is 16 inches. There's only one available, SIB3. And like I said, it looks really good. It's even got the veining in there. You know, howlite has that. But they've done it. It looks really good. So when you're looking for that turquoise look, but you don't want that turquoise price, or your customers don't want that turquoise price, you know, a lot of people, we have found a lot of people don't care. They want that kind of, sometimes the Southwest look, turquoise, coral, that Native American look, but they don't care if it's real turquoise. They don't care if it's real coral. And for those people who just want the look, these are a really good price point to make things for them. Right? There's nothing wrong. Like we always said, as long as you know what you're getting, there is nothing wrong with any of it. As long as you know it's dyed, there's nothing wrong with that. As long as you know it's not turquoise, there's nothing wrong with that. Now, we don't want you taking it and selling it as turquoise, right? That's not right. But this is a dyed jade, and it's a really pretty pink color. It's looking peachy pink on camera, on my camera, but it's very light pink. And this is $12 a strand. I have 2 of these available. We had these in various colors before. This color just didn't seem to want to go, but I think tonight, maybe, we'll see if it does. These are 10 millimeter rounds, and this is an 8 times 2, 16-inch strand. And I think these are really pretty together, right? Kimberly's taking a bio break. We'll see you in a bit. That's funny. The first time we heard bio break was a few years ago at a convention we went to. And yeah, it's just a fun term. Okay. Let's see. What do I have next? Oh, I love these. These are SIB5. They are 50 cents each, and I have multiple lots available of these. These are really cute. Let me get them out. First, I want to show you the box. This is the old box. And they are from Western Germany. They're vintage Western German. And look at this old, like falling apart paper they're in. But they are these beautiful shell, they're cabochons, but beautiful shell cabochons. SIB5. They are metallicized on the back to give you that flash. So you could glue them onto things, you could glue bells onto them, you can set them in things depending on what you want to do. But they are super pretty glass cabochons with the metal back. And you can see, I don't even know how many are in there because I've never taken them all out because they're all nice and sealed up in there. But we've got a bunch of them, and they are 50 cents each. So if you'd like any of those, they are available. SIB5. 5. Now I'm going to wrap this back up a little bit and put it back together, because that is, here we go. Okay, we set this aside. Those usually when we put them out, they sell, we always usually sell a number of those. And they look like summer to me. They're shells for one, that's summery, and they're rainbow. What? Rainbow shells. And let's see here. Oh, where are my pliers? Guess I don't need them. Let's see here. These are kind of stapled all together. I'm trying to separate them without, because they're vintage, and I don't want to break all the strands. Pulling the staple would be the easiest thing, but I don't know where my things are. What's Jennifer say? That is a very good price for those. We try. We try. Oh, so those shells are fabulous, aren't they? 50 cents each only. I don't know what they're going for if you can find them in the world, but vintage Western German glass shells. And they are 50 cents each. And they're really good quality. They are really good. They have, even though they're old, they have withstood the test of time because they've been packed away in their little packing material. All right, these were originally $14. SIB 6. They were 14. I'm going to bring them down to 12. I have 2 strands only available. These are vintage Czech glass, big vintage Czech glass strands. I don't think we've ever shown these ones before. I pulled these from our wall. Let's see here. Pulled these from our wall. They're the purple. I talked about this purple and silver at the beginning. They are 9mm, and they are 10-inch strands of vintage Czech. Only 2 strands of those available. SIB 6. Never before shown on the show before, and I have a few of them coming up here. It's taking me a little bit of time to get them, because I don't have, oh, there's some pliers. Sometimes these come all kind of stapled together, and it's really hard to get them apart without, and now I found my pliers, so that helps a lot. And these ones, these are super, these are so nice. They're kind of a peachy orange color. SIB 7. Let's see. Because they're peachy orange, I can do, what can I do on these? They were 8. I can go to 6. I was just trying to see if I can go to 6 or not. 1, 2, 3. There are 4 of them available total. We sold one of the SIB 6s. Thank you so much. We still have 1 left. And this is SIB 7. These are these vintage Czech glass drops in this kind of peachy orange. It's really kind of peachy. So really, if you hold these together, you can kind of see them. But these are beautiful peachy drops and beautiful glass work. It is vintage Czech. This is an 8-inch strand, and I've got 4 of them. Once these are gone, we won't have them again. And we've never, to my recollection, we've never shown these ones before. And these ones are approximately 6.5 millimeters by 10. 6.5 by 10. All right, we've sold a number of these, the SIB5s. Thank you so much. And let's see here, what's next? SIB8. Now, I love these. I think we had a darker version of these the other day that I showed, a dark blue version, but I've never shown the light blue version of these. And these are vintage check. Let me get them separated from one another. And let's see. So who all's out there with us today? And let's do a roll call. Say hi if you're out there and if you're still watching. We've had pretty good viewership today. I thank you all so much for hanging out with me. It's nice to hang out with people. Andrew, I think, is starting his way home tomorrow for like one day. He's going to be home for Saturday and then has to leave Sunday again. But I think I'm going to get to see him for a little bit. This is a long strand. So these were 14. I'm going to go, I'll do 10 on these. And I have 3 of them available. Teresa's still here. Thank you so much. Let me move this a little bit because I can see we have a little bit of room yet. If you all have any questions as we go along, please feel free. Please also feel free to continue chatting. That's nice to see comments happening. And the more comments you make, even if you're commenting to each other, it does help the algorithm find us and have other people maybe find us. It's always nice to include new people from time to time, right? These, look at these. How pretty. These twisted ovals with this AB finish, but they're transparent as well. And look how stunning those are. This is a 10-inch strand. Sanders asking, what is 6? These are vintage check. All these ones, these next few here are all vintage check glass. Vintage check glass. We have one more of 6 left. That's the purple and silver vintage check glass. I think they were 9 millimeters. 9 to 9.5, about 9.5 millimeter. And then vintage check are these for these drops, and vintage check for these. Look how pretty. That's summery, right? That's summery. That could also be wintry. If you do the blue tones in the winter, that'd be really pretty too. So there we go. We have SIB 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. We have a few of everything still available. I got to check my junk mail because I have not checked my junk mail in a little bit. Let me make sure no one went to junk throughout today. No, it doesn't look like it. So we're good there. All right, we sold one of the number 8. Thank you so much. Jennifer says those Aqua AB are swimming pool summery, right? Absolutely. Make some earrings out of those. Make a bracelet, right? Let's see. What would that be like? Look how nice. Ooh. Maybe I'll make myself a bracelet out of those. That's kind of really cool. A little bit of summertime bling. Like that. All right. Let me clear off SIB3. This is the dyed halite to look like turquoise. That's still available. One strand available only. And all of the new check glass tonight has only ever been offered here for the first time. So we are just, this is fresh off the wall at Star Cottage Studio. I pulled these fresh off the wall today, and these fresh off the wall, never before shown. Okay, I'm going to also put this one away. This is SIB4. This is the Di-Jade rounds, and that's it's a pretty long strand. What did I say how long that was? 16-inch strand. Susan's still here. Thank you so much for still being here and hanging out with us. Okay, these are the Western German cabs, silverback AB shells. I never gave you the size on these. These are approximately 13 by 16.5 millimeters. And depth on them is about 4.5 millimeters. Move those over in case somebody still wants any of those. I'm going to turn on the air conditioner because as loud as it is, now I'm starting to get too hot. Okay, I've got another strand of Czech glass we haven't shown before. I thought that one was tied off, and it is not. All right, let me tie you off here. If I can. Those almost went all over the floor. Almost. I hate when that happens. Alrighty, SIB9. These ones, ooh, they're a little bit expensive. They were expensive back then. Really, they're the same price as these, but I'm going to do you a little bit of a deal. Sandra's still here too, back from the kitchen. Hot dog ready. Got a hot dog. Nice. These are a nice blue with a metallic AB, faceted round, vintage Czech glass. These are 7.3 millimeters, about 7.5 millimeters. And this is an 8-inch strand. Vintage Czech glass from our vintage Czech collection. This is some of the stuff from the wall. Whenever you watch us in Star Cottage Studio and we broadcast from there, we have this stuff on the back wall. I stole some of it for the show tonight. Never before shown stuff. If it doesn't sell, it's going right back on the wall because it helps keep the decoration going, helps keep our backdrop going. I have 3 of these as well. I've been back for a minute, says Kimberly, just getting dinner going. Nice. I don't know. I had corn again last night, corn on the cob, which was really good. I enjoyed it, as well as some of my various snacks throughout the night. Last night I had carrots and ranch dressing, Marzetti's ranch. I had some more red beets, some pickled red beets, and what else did I have? I feel like I had something else. Oh, I had another peach. I had a peach too. That was my night. Pork chops in the Instant Pot, says Kimberly. That sounds delicious. Our Instant Pot doesn't get as much of a workout since we're vegetarians. Our pressure cooker we used to have, which is like the original Instant Pot, used to get a lot of use when we were cooking meat. Corn on the cob sounds excellent, says Susan. I've got that for tonight still. So I have one more night of corn on the cob to go. And then I don't know what I'm going to do. Andrew will be back, so I'm going to pick up something for us to cook together while he's back home tomorrow or Saturday. All right. I picked out some lampwork glass. I know some of y'all really like lampwork glass, and I have a lot of things that are summery, flowers, and kind of things like that with lampwork. I know some of you don't like lampwork that much, so I don't know how this will go, but I picked these out to start, and I thought they were gorgeous. And I think, like with this, they are exceptionally pretty. So very pretty flowers. Lampwork glass, SIB 10. They were 16 for the pair, going down to 12. And now the thing is, these are like half drilled, so they are not beads. That's what makes them maybe a harder sell. But you can glue in something down in there, head pin, things like that, and use them that way. But they are so pretty, and they deserve to be used. Somebody who's going to use them. Now that looks like a little monster face. That's pretty cute. But yeah, SIB 10, $12 for the pair. Those are cool, says Kimberly. Teresa says, I had pickled red beets tonight with portobello burgers. Ooh, ooh. Yeah, I had that big sandwich from Susie today that she got me. And so I don't know. I'm not going to be as hungry tonight, probably. So I might just eat the corn. And I have another thing of red beets. I might just eat corn and red beets again tonight. It's pretty good. We'll see. We'll see what I do. Okay, I'm going to put the SIB 5 back. Those are those shells. So we sold some of those. If anybody wants those, we still have them available. SIB 5. I don't want to put the thing in the box. I do love portobello burgers. I haven't made one of those in a long time. I should. Maybe I should, right? Moving these all down the line. SIB 11. My garbage. There's my garbage. My garbage is getting full. I'm going to do this for simple. Let's see. Let's do that at $6. Never shown this before either. SIB 11 is this beautiful blue glass. These are glass beads. And they are approximately 12 millimeters by 13 and a half. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of them on the strand. 9 of them on the strand. Really pretty. Only one strand of these available. And that's SIB 11. And that has sold. Thank you so much. That doesn't even have a bag because it's something we've never shown. For the bag, take that away. Oops, somebody else tried to get 11. Sorry. No more. No more of them. And let's see here. What is with these new things not being tied up? That knot's not going to hold because the bead toe is too big. All right, SIB 12. We'll do this at $6 as well. Amanda says, I recently discovered yellow beets. They are good, but I prefer red beets. I haven't had yellow beet. I think I have had yellow beets, but not like pickled. And I love pickled beets mostly. All right, next up, are these beautiful glass rounds. Beautiful glass rounds. They are 10mm rounds. And these are 7-inch strand. It's a 7-inch strand. Because I lost precious time re-signing into my email. Oh, that's why you missed it. So this is SIB12. These beautiful multicolored rounds. One strand of those available, SIB12. All right, let me put SIB6 in a bag. We still have one of these left, SIB6. The purple and silver large vintage check glass beads. And SIB7. I think I've got all these. Nobody wanted a 7. I'm really surprised. That was one of my favorite strands of the night. I thought it looked so pretty. But, you know, you never know. SIB7. You never know what people are going to like. But I generally, like I said, sometimes we tailor these. Like, we know what y'all like, so sometimes I pick things with people in mind. But sometimes, you know, you can't always do that. So I just pick things that I like. And sometimes you like them too, and sometimes you don't. SIB13 coming up. Oh, that's nice. I finally put all my Sharpies. I don't know why, but people have a tendency to put a Sharpie in a canister like this. And I'm like, that's not gonna, you gotta put it like this so that the ink goes down into the thing. And so I put them all like this here in our thing upstairs. And look how nice and dark that's writing, at least for this one time. We'll see if it keeps up. Okay, if you liked 11, you may really like this one, 13. Oh, 12 has sold, thank you so much. Oh, come on. What are you doing? What are you caught on? There we go. I don't understand. Okay. And we'll just do this one at 6 as well. SIB 13. This is the same size as 11, but in a different color. Same size and shape as 11, but a different color. It's like this tealy color. So it's SIB 13. Again, they're about 11.2 by 13.5 millimeters. And that's SIB 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 on that one, though. 8 on that one. I don't know why there was 9 on one and 8 on the other. That one has sold multiple times. I wish I had more, but I can tell you I don't. That's it on that one. Put that away so it doesn't tease anybody. I'm gonna put 12 away as well so that doesn't tease anybody. Boy, 3 people wanted 13. I wish I had them. I wish I had them for y'all. Make those sales happen. Okay, I do have 2 of these, so hopefully y'all like these. SIB 14. I'm going to do these at $6 each as well. There are 2 of them available. Let me get one of them out here. Every time I pull them out, they're not tied up. Okay. They're these corner drilled faceted cubes in this beautiful kind of coppery yellow clear goodness. These are glass, and some of them are this kind of clear, almost kind of peachy purpley color, and then other ones are these kind of rusty red and coppery gold metallics. And this is the other strand of them, so you can see. Here they are. And SIB 14, 2 of them available, $6 each. SIB 15. And when I have 2 of them, nobody wants any of them. See, isn't that always the way? And this is so pretty. They are pretty. Oh, we just sold one of SIB 7. Thank you so much. That's one of my favorites, the peachy ones. My favorite. Appreciate that. This is a lampwork glass bead. It was $24. That was our good price on it before. Bringing it down to $20 for you for this show. And this is a large lampwork glass floral bead. Really pretty. It's got those 2 very large pink and white flowers in them with the vine work behind it in that clear glass. Lampwork bead comes in at about 20.5 millimeters by 20, I'll say round up to 24. One of those available, $20 only for that bead. That's a lot of work. That's a lot of work in a lampwork glass bead for $20. SIB 16. Okay, SIB 16 was 14. Gonna bring it down to 10. This is a bright green dyed quartz strand. Nice and bright, really pretty color. Really pretty dyed quartz. And it's a vintage strand. It's 16 inches. And these are faceted rounds at 7.5 millimeters. That's 7.5 number. That's like that vintage number. They liked 7.5 for some reason. But 7.5 millimeter dyed quartz. Beautiful green rounds, bright green. Love that color. It's one of my favorites. You know I like green, but that limey green, it's like lime, not flesh, right? It's the actual fruit. Flesh would be the skin, right? Right? What do you call it? I don't know. That's a good limey color. 1 strand available, SIB 16. $10 only. $10. All right, let me take SIB 8 away. That's these. Did no one get? Yeah, one person. One person got 8. One person only. I thought these were going to fly out of here because look at them. What? Only one person got SIB 8, only $10 for that strand? Okay, it's all right. It's not for everyone, I know. Not everything is for everyone, William. I say these things to myself sometimes, especially when I can't believe things that I thought were, things I thought were going to be like for sure sellers. Sandra says, I was thinking key lime pie. Ooh, I like key lime pie. No one on these. SIB 14. Should I just tell you I have one of these? Only one? and then maybe somebody will get it. Everyone jumped at everything I had the one of. Sometimes I wonder about that. I'm like, does the fact that I have 2 or more of them make people think they don't have to hurry to get them, and so they think about it longer? That scarcity mindset. Don't want that FOMO. See, so that's my hub's favorite. Key lime pie. Ooh, nice. Oh, somebody did grab a 14. Thank you. At least one of them's gone. Now it's the scarcity. Now it's the FOMO. There's only one of these left. Only one left. Get it before it's gone. SIB 14, $6 only. I lost the bag. Okay. I love these so much. But they are a tough sale. Because of what they are, I think. Because of the shape. But it's because of the shape that I love them so much. These are normally $32 a strand. I'm going to whack them way down to $22 for the strand. These are these shell dagger pendants, drops, whatever you want to call them. And they have such pretty, that AB color that you get from shell. And I love a sharp, pointy looking thing on jewelry. I don't know why. I think it's so cool when your jewelry looks a little dangerous, maybe. They're not I mean, they are a little pointy, but they're not like filed down pointy. But I just think these are so cool. Like, how magnificent would they be in earrings? Just to have these little shards of things coming out of your ears. Like, I don't know why we have a harder time with these. So I'm knocking the price way down from 32 to 22. SIB 17. Get them tonight if you think you can use them, because the price is good. These are vintage strands of these, and they are all different sizes. But kind of a middle one would maybe be around here. And they are, that one is about 35 millimeters long. And at their base, they're about 6.5 thick. They go down into a point then. So this is kind of a punk vibe, right? Like, I love them. These are one of the very favorite strands that we have for me. Like, I just don't understand why people aren't jumping at them like I would. If I made more things, these would never reach you all. That's pretty much, if I had more time to make more stuff, these would never get to you all because I would take them. These are ones I wouldn't even feel bad about taking because I would love to make stuff with them. I just don't have the time to make a ton of stuff. Oops, I knocked a bunch of my papers on the floor. Get back up here. All right, I'm putting these away, SIB 10. Those are going away. I'm going to put SIB 14 away. I do still have one more 14, if you're all interested in it. One more of those to go. Corner drilled faceted cubes. And there are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 on the strand. I didn't even give you the size. No wonder nobody. They are about 14 millimeters. 14 millimeters. Nice size, lightweight for earrings. Those would make some flashy earrings right there. I make bracelets a lot. I think they'd be cool as bracelets. Because they're not pointy because they're faceted. So they're not like pointy cubes. Pointy cube. What did I do with the other one? Did I take it out of the bag? What did I do? There it is. Make sure they go in there together. It's 14. Stand up. I don't want to stand up. That's alright. Okay, move 15 down. That's the lampwork bead. Move 16 down. That's the green dyed quartz. Move 17 down. That's the Shell Daggers. SIB 18. Okay, for those of you who like hot pink, like the hot pink vibe, we've got some beautiful hot pink Chalcedony, dyed Chalcedony. These are the strands. Hot pink dyed Chalcedony. They're these faceted, I don't know what shape that is, rounded squares. Kind of rounded square. But this is vintage pink dyed Chalcedony. Let's see, we had these at 24. I'm going to go to 20 on them today. 2 of them available. Now for me, love it. I don't know about you. I'm so, like, I'm ready to throw back to the 80s and let's get neon. I'm into that. I'm liking that vibe right now. I don't know if that's your vibe or not, but that's like an 80s summer to me, and I'm loving it. I'm an 80s baby. So we have 2 of these available, and they are approximately 12 millimeters. And that's an awesome combo, right? I think so. I think that's fabulous. I love it. But hey, really good prices on these, I think. Dyed Chalcedony can be very expensive, especially the vintage dyed Chalcedony. $20 a strand for those, 2 strands available. They are approximately 9.5-inch strands. Probably once they come, it's probably about a 9-inch strand with the spacers taken out. Terry says, the green and pink are the colors I just painted my bathroom. That's right, you did. You mentioned that. Yeah, I love those colors. Such a cool vibe. It's time to get retro, y'all. Don't be afraid of it. Don't be afraid of the retro. Okay, I had some of these on, was it last night's show, I think? It was last night's show. These little rounds, and I think every one of them sold, and I found these ones. So these are SIB 19. They're $4, just like the other ones were, and they're these little rounds. And this time they're in this kind of beigey pink. They have a little bit of a pink sheen to them. I don't know if you can see. They have a little bit of that glimmer glitz to them. And so there's the whole lot of these. They're only $4 for the lot. SIB 19, and that has already sold. Thank you so much. So there's so many different types of retro, though. I know. I'm into the neon retro right now. Let's get 80s neon retro going. I'm all for it. When I was young, I used to have. I don't know if y'all remember in the 80s, maybe early 90s, late 80s, early 90s. They had everyone wanted the silk jackets. And my brother and I, we got these. There was a place here called, where was it? I think Value City. I don't know if Value Cities are everywhere or if it was just a thing here in Johnstown. But we went to Value City, and it's a place that it wasn't like a thrift. It wasn't used, but they were lower priced things. Sometimes like from larger designers, but lower priced. And we found these silk jackets, and mine was I think a purple. What was my black and purple and some other color, and my brother's I think was blue and yellow maybe, and I loved them so much. I kind of still wish I had one. I would love a silk jacket. Um, Jennifer says, sorry, I have to go. Have a great night, all. Have a great night, Jennifer. Norma says, we have a Value City here, too. I think ours closed, or else, I think at first it turned into like mostly a furniture store, Value City Furniture, and then they kind of closed down. These are beautiful lampwork glass. Do they call these lentils? I think they call this shape a lentil. I keep wanting to say that, and I feel like that's right. You get all 4 of them for $8. SIB 20. You get all 4 of those for $8. And just look at those together. How pretty are those? If you made that into a bracelet with like that. Can I get that to balance on there? No. But look how pretty that would be. That'd be such a pretty bracelet. You get all 4 of these, only $2 a bead. That's a lot of work in there. Lampwork glass, holes go that way. Nice big hole. These are approximately 17 by 16. Teresa says, my brother had a black and pink jacket. That's cool. I had a black and pink pocket rocker. I don't know if people remember pocket rockers. They were like this big, and they had a tape that was like, it was a cassette tape, but it was only about this big, and it had 2 songs on it, one on each side. And one of mine had, let me think about this now. I have to look up, because I think one had Walk Like an Egyptian, and I still love that song. And let me see here. What was let's show. And the other side, I think, was Manic Monday. Walk Like an Egyptian and Manic Monday. And I still love both of those songs. I still listen to them to this day. Apple put out recently, if you listen to Apple Music, they celebrated 10 years or something. And they put out your list of most listened to songs. And Walk Like an Egyptian was the #1 song on my list. Norma said, there was a Value City and Value City Furniture. Both of ours may have closed too, just before the pandemic, I think. Yeah. I don't know if they all closed or not, but yeah, I remember, because we didn't have a lot of money, but, my parents would try to get us things that, it's hard for kids in school. And my parents were good when they could about trying to get us things, like mostly my grandmother bought us a lot of school clothes. And that started happening more when my dad started having his issues. But before that, my parents did try to buy a lot of our stuff for us. And, they tried to make sure we had things that, we're not going to get like made fun of for, or, kids are mean. And so we would go places like that that would have things for less money, but still kind of popular things, especially in our area, because we were such a rural area. So they were constantly like things that were in style somewhere else were just becoming stylish where we were. This is SIB 21. These are all a bunch of lampwork beads. There's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 of them, and we're putting them at $10. So that is a really good deal. Less than $1 each. They're about 15.5 millimeters by about 8.5. And they're pink on pink, but they're really pretty, and they're designed really well. and they look really good. And you're getting them less than $1 each. And if you put these, like things like this together, these would be really pretty together. Put those, maybe add some of that in there if you wanted to, or even some of the green. I don't know if that's the right green. That's not really the right green. Susan says, I love those Bangles songs, but my favorite Bangles stuff is... And the comments cut you off. So we'll wait and see. Well, I'm just talking a lot tonight about things other than the beads, but that's okay. Talking about music, talking about all different things tonight. SIB 16 is that green dyed quartz. Anybody's interested in that? Still haven't sold these. They're going to go back. I'm going to put them away again. Let's just put them away again. I'm going to use them, and you're all going to be like, oh, where'd you get those? I'm going to be like, I tried to sell them to you a long time ago. It will be a long time ago before I get to them, probably. All right, and we'll move 18 over here. These are the 2 dyed chalcedonies. So he says the first Bangles album, All Over the Place, is my favorite. Nice. Kristen says, how do I register to bid? I didn't put up the banner today. You take down the lot number, SIB number, put that in the subject line of an email, send an email to us at info@allegorygallery.com. That's all you have to do. Send an email for every item you want, and it's first come, first serve. We're giving really good prices on lots of good stuff today. Like these lampwork beads, $8 for the set of 4 of these ones, or $10 for the set of 12 of these ones, for example. So just make sure you send your email to info@allegorygallery.com and put the lot number in the subject line. Easy peasy. And thank you for being here, Kristen. We appreciate it. Okay. SIB 22. These are large. These are glass made to look like quartz, but they are very large glass beads, and it's a nice big strand of them. They are vintage. I don't know where they come from exactly, but they are vintage, and they are glass, and you can tell they're glass because you can see in some of them. There's a bubble. Right? So you can see the bubble. And when you see a bubble, you know it's glass and not quartz, generally. Now, there is some quartz that traps things in bubbles, and if that were the case, you would not dye it because that's a very expensive piece, and we would not be selling it for the price that we're selling these at. Now, this is a fairly decent-sized strand. These generally go for about $24. I'm going to mark it down for y'all today to $16. $16. Very large, very green. And these are about 20 millimeters by 15. 20 by 15. Oh, and Kristen, if you've never done anything with us before, your name looks familiar. You've been on, you've hung out at least with us before, right? Make sure we have your shipping address. We need your shipping address, so send that to us in an email as well. We'll send you out a invoice after the show. That's how we do it. We send invoices via Square after the show. All right, let me go in here and let me check my junk to make sure nobody new is trying to get in, because sometimes they go to my junk folder. Looks like we're good here. All right. Teresa's my favorite Bangles album too, Susan. I don't know about All Over. When did All Over the Place come out? Music. Bangles. Albums. Up, 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 up. Oh, that's why I'm not in the Bangles. Albums. All Over the Place, expanded edition, 1984. I'll have to listen to it. Because I don't, like, I know a lot of the, well, yeah, I don't know a ton of the Bangles music, so I'm gonna have to listen to that. Of course, I know the stuff that was playing a lot on the radio at that point in time. All right, let's see here. Let me move this. SIB, where are we at? 23. SIB 23. Wow, they priced these low. Okay, $3. $3. I can't go lower than that. That was the last time. $3. These are vintage glass beads. I don't know if they're Czech. They're a vintage glass. You get 4 beads with this leafy kind of fern design pressed in this light blue color. They are 15.5 by 16.5 millimeters, and it's only $3 for the set of 4 beads. They're really pretty. It's in that kind of periwinkle blue. All right. It looks like I have to put SIB 18s away. Nobody has grabbed the SIB 18s. I'm surprised. They are hot pink, so I'm not that surprised, but I love that color. So those are going back. Thank you so much. And then SIB 20s. Those are going to go back as well. I still have that available. Those are about, again, I think I did these, 17 millimeters. 17 millimeter lampwork glass beads. You can get a bag. Oh, I have a bag for those. All right, and now start moving these over. Oh, I sold SIB 21. Boy, I needed some. I don't know that. That's so weird. Totally missed that. So yes, 21 is sold. That's this one. Thank you so much. That's a good deal on that lot. Thank you, thank you. All right, we'll move this over. That's still available. You get 5, 10, 15, 16, 17, 18 beads on this strand. And it is about 11.5-inch strand. Vintage green glass made to look like a green quartz. And then these, SIB 23, $3 for that lot. And I thought these were fun colors. SIB 24, and this is such a fun mix. I'm gonna do this at $6. $6. This little mix of beads. And there's some vintage Czech in here. I love this shape. It's like sorry, my cord's getting caught. So it's like a faceted round that they lopped off the top and bottom. So you get those in there. You get these beautiful glass beads here. And then these are a dyed stone. think those are a dyed jade. Dyed jade stones. And you get all of that for $6. Nice little mix. Really pretty. SIB 24. And what I do with my juice? I need my water. I need a drink. How are y'all doing out there? Keeping up? I talked a lot at the beginning. Probably wearing you out now. Huh. Probably wearing you all out now. Okay. This is one of our older strands from the store. I don't know how it got here. Probably during the move at some point. They were originally 36. I'm going to bring it down to 30. This is a really good deal on these. This is Green Apatite Pebbles. See, it still has our tag on it. That's what we sell it for. But these are an excellent example. Like, it's green apatite. It is so transparent. Like, the clarity in them is so good. It's like they glow. They do kind of glow. But very, very good color. Very good clarity. Green Apatite Pebbles. $36 originally. One strand only. I have more in the store, but I'm only doing one strand at $30 because we normally do still sell this in the store for $36. So $30, one available. The pebbles are, let me give you an approximately 5 millimeters wide. Yeah, about 5 millimeters wide, and they do vary in length. So that is SIB 25. Very green, very summery green on that one. And then, whoa, almost lost you. All right, these are another vintage glass lot. These are these beautiful yellow vintage glass flowers. So there's the large ones. There's the itty bitty, the little ones. See if you can see those. I'll bring the light up here. So there's the little ones, there's the big ones, and then you've got one kind of opaque one there as well. So this is just a mix. We had some vintage glass flowers. These are all yellow. And these, the holes are drilled sideways. You can see the drill lines through there, sideways through that little bottom part of the flower. These have the hole right through the center. And this one has the hole also through there. These ones could function kind of as buttons, these ones here, if you wanted to, or closures. If you do a beaded loop on one end of a bracelet, for example, or a necklace, and bead the loop around. We've kind of shown this before, but I don't know if I have. Whoa, what is that? Huh. Interesting. What am I doing? How many things did I start and not finish over here? A lot, I guess. But if you have like a beaded loop like this, and then you can loop this through to use it as a toggle on that. That's what we mean. And that's SIB 26, and SIB 26 has just sold. Thank you. This away. I'm going to put SIB 22 away because it's taking up a lot of space. But if you like the big green, it's available still. $16, SIB 22. Okay. Let's move on. Let's move these down first. Can't believe these are still here. SIB 23. No one likes those? Oh, poor little things. Poor little things. SIB 24 and SIB 25 still available. Coming up on SIB 27. We're going to go to 40 tonight. I'm going to try and pick it up the pace a little bit because I know we're getting maybe a little bit later. Of course, we're always like this, right? It's normal for us. But I know it's Thursday. It's been a long week. It's been a long week. My whole brain chemistry has been up and down this week. Like today, I'm doing pretty good. Yesterday was a very hard day. So I'm sure the same is happening to some of you out there. I'm just going to make this $8. It really should be a little bit more. This is a vintage crystal strand. Vintage crystal. Whoa! $8 for the strand. This is a 16-inch strand. 8mm faceted rondelles with an AB metallic. Not really kind of a metallic, more just an AB finish. But look how pretty that is. That just really hits. Beautiful vintage strand of vintage crystal. SIB 27, $8. Says I missed a couple lots because I moved upstairs. 27, it is vintage crystal. And it has just sold. Thank you so much. Sandra says, it has been a long week. Yes, it has. Norma says, Kimberly posted a cute ice cream charm necklace in the design challenge group, and now I'm really craving ice cream. That's funny. Y'all making each other hungry. Now you're all talking about ice cream. I'm not usually an ice cream fan. When I was young, I used to love ice cream. I would have ice cream and cereal were like how they were how I would end my night most of the nights at my grandparents' house. Ice cream, well, first usually cereal and then ice cream, or maybe ice cream and then cereal. And that used to be like, I loved it. But now for some reason, SIB 28. SIB 28. I can't talk and write at the same time. But did she just post that? The ice cream charm necklace? Because I didn't see it today. I thought I saw most stuff today. I tried to be online a little bit more today, here and there, but I didn't succeed 100%. These were $10. I'm going to make them $8. Just posted it about 15 minutes ago. See, I didn't see it yet. I'm going to have to take a look. These are super pretty. Maybe I should have left them at 10. Wow. I should have taken these out of the bag. Anyway, I'll leave it. Look at these lampwork glass. These pretty little delicate blue flowers with the greenery behind them. There are 2 rondelles. And they are approximately 14mm rondelles. Tori says, scientists are saying that ice cream is good for heart health. Sounds like I need to eat more ice cream. Just don't pack it full probably of all the chocolate chunk and all that stuff that I usually have in mine, right? I think that's why I don't eat ice cream as much anymore. When we were growing up, I would have cookies and cream, mint chocolate chip, or Neapolitan. Those were the ones that generally my family bought and I would eat. And they were pretty easy to eat. Now when I go to the store, because we go late at night, so I go to like the Sheetz, and Sheetz has The Ben and Jerry's, but they have like mostly the very chocolatey, peanut buttery, or um, cookie dough, like that kind of stuff. Caramel, like it's all very, very sweet stuff. And I really like just cookies and cream, mint chocolate chip, and vanilla chocolate. I was never a strawberry fan, but a little bit of strawberry in there sometimes is nice. A little bit of a difference. When I was a kid, I avoided the strawberry. Always. I don't know who ever ate the strawberry, to be 100% honest with you, because my brother and I would dig out the chocolate and vanilla out of the Neapolitan, and I don't know whatever happened to most of it. My grandmother ate it. She didn't like milk, so she wasn't a big ice cream eater. My grandmother really didn't like dairy very much. Cheese, I guess, was fine, but she definitely did not. I never saw her drink milk in my entire life. Okay, these were 75, and I'm going to bring them down to the lowest price we've ever done, $58. $58 if you're interested. What is the number on those lamp works? 28. SIB 28. Thank you, Norma. SIB 29 are these beautiful strands of pink opal. Beautiful, beautiful strands. If I can get them undone. Oh, there are two of them. I forgot that. Two of them. Pink opal. They call these tires. They're pretty much heishi. Beautiful pink opal. It almost looks like coral in some ways. Like a very high quality coral, but it's a nice high quality pink opal instead. And these are the strands that come on the sterling silver lobster claw. If you look closely, where is it? That side, you can see a 925 right there. So the 925 is there, and there's sterling chain. They come strung up. You can do them. You can wear them for a while like that. We always say that it's best to restring them because they are strung using two crimp tubes, and they're just flattened out, and that's not a way that jewelry is going to hold up very. You should do the crimp tubes, with the crimping pliers that pierce between the wires and then flatten them out or bunch them up. We call it making a taco and then closing a taco. But these are just squished down, and that's not the way you should ever finish your jewelry. But that's how they do it on these. And they use two of them, so it's fairly secure. But we sell these to you all not as finished pieces. If we sold these as finished necklaces, we would upcharge them. But we sell them to you all at the price that we just sell them as beads. And they are always, without the extender, at least 16-inch strands. So this is like 16-inch strand of very pretty, high-quality pink opal. And we're not, if you do take them apart, keep the lobster claw though, because it is sterling. You can see right there, 925 on the little piece there, and this is a sterling chain. So if you take them apart, keep those to use, because you're getting a sterling lobster claw and sterling chain in the price. And then these are super pretty pink opal strands, and I priced them way low. Gave you a good discount on those tonight. That's the lowest price we've ever done on these, $58. Normally when we have these in the store, they are never below the 75 price point. Susan says, like folding a book. Yes, the crimping, you pierce in between and then close the book. Chris says, those are pretty, aren't they? Super, super pretty. Beautiful pink opal. They're glowing. They're like glowing from the inside. And so there are two strands of these available only. And I'm going to check and see if these are graduated. They feel a little bit, but I don't think they are. No, they're about 6.5 millimeter Heishi beads. 6.5 millimeter Heishis. We sold 28. Thank you so much. I'm going to take that off the table. And I just want to show you, I'm going to show you the other strand because, you know, on something like this, we want you to know that either one that you get, because we'll pick it for you when we send it out, but we don't show you the best and then, you know, like send you a subpar one after. Like these are both beautiful strands of pink opal. And just super, super pretty Heishi beads, or they call them tires. These are from India, and our vendor there calls them tires. Tyre, spelled the British way, of course. Tyre. So that's SIB 29, $58, only 16-inch strands of beautiful, high-quality pink opal. And it is more pink in person than on the screen. I will tell you, my screen makes them look like bleached out. They are not. They are really pretty. All right, next up. Oh, these are fun. Sandra says, OMG, that's gorgeous, 29. And you know your high-end stuff, right? So you know that's an extremely good price for the quality of that pink opal. You know. I know you know. The numbers on these, by the way, is the carat weight. They both are actually exactly the same, 124 carats. 124 carats of pink opal. Now these are all pretty fabulous. We used to sell these individually. I'm just going to put them together. Sandra says that is a fabo price. I know. It's like we've lost our minds tonight. If you're in the mood for some pink opal, high quality, that is some of the best you're going to find, especially at that price. Okay. These are beautiful lampwork glass flowers. The hole goes down through like that on each one of these. They are stunning. We normally sell these for $7 a piece. There are 4 of them. So 7, 14, 21, that would be 28. But I'm going to do them at 24. I'm going to drop them to $6 each. And they are $24 now for the lot of 4. And these are about 21.5 millimeters. It's weird to buy about 17.5. So there you go, SIB 30. Look at these beautiful colors up here. So many pretty colors. And as I'm looking, like I kind of love these colors together. Kind of digging this green and pink right now. Green and pink. I bet I have. Do I have? Let me see what I have. Ooh. Let's see. Let's see if I can do better. That's kind of cute. Let's do those next. All right. SIB 31. I'm gonna do $4 only on these. Let me put these away. Running out of room over here. I'm gonna put these away. The 23s, $3 only for this vintage glass. It's pressed with that little fern design. Fern, flower, I don't know. Looks like a fern to me, but it's not green. It's weird to have a blue fern. But I still like it. I love ferns. I love seeing the ferns come up in the woods. And I'm going to put this one away too because it's just loose and I need to make some room here. So this lot of all this vintage Czech and vintage glass and these dyed stones, dyed jade, that lot, $6 only for that. SIB 24. Okay, let's move 25 over. 25 is the very nice, normally $36 green green. Boy, I just lost apatite. That's the word. Green apatite. Green apatite, William. Green apatite pebbles now down to $30. That one strand only. If this doesn't sell, it's going right back up to the store now that I found it. And sit with its brethren up there at the $36 point. This is the pink opal. These are the little flowers. And then $4. $4 for these lampwork glass. These pretty pink flowers. These are pretty pink rondelles. $4 for the pair. Only $2 each. That's a deal. 15 millimeters. Well, let's go 15.5 millimeters approximately. 15.5 millimeters. Beautiful pink rondelles, pink flowers, green leaves, lampwork glass. 2 of them, you get the pair for $4. Let me make sure people know that. That's for the pair. Doing a really good deal. Normally those are about $4 a piece. So that's like a 50% off sale right there. See, the more we hang out, then just the more I give sell prices. Things keep coming down in price. SIB 32. And let's see, what else do I have in this side? Let's do these. This is a luxury bead blend that Andrew made. And we priced these at $12. I'm going to leave them at $12 because I think these are definitely worth $12. This is a luxury bead blend. It's a lot of greens like carnelians. There's actually some carnelian in there. What did I just say? Green like carnelian. Orange like carnelian. There's some carnelian in there. There's some green in there. Actually, that looks like those might be some green apatite pebbles right in there in that mix. There's some Indonesian glass, some Manique. That's some of these in here. There's some vintage Czech in there. There's some other gemstones. Some big crystal. You won't get everything in every pack, but this is a good mix. There's actually some wood beads in there, wooden beads, some metal spacers. So that's SIB 32, $12 for those. This is another one just to show you what you might get. This one actually has some, looks like some lamp work in there. What? What'd you do, Andrew? You went wild. So that's SIB 32. All right. I'm going to put away the green apatite pebbles. They're still available. $30 for the strand. These are like a AAA grade pebble. Not like, they are. AAA grade pebble. And then, what did I do? There's my bag for the pink opal. Pink opal was $75. They are now $58. Sandra says, did you ask Andrew about the mint pearls if he has any more hiding out? He would probably know less than me. He doesn't really keep track of it. Those were kind of my favorite thing. So I have a few places. I've looked in a few, but I haven't looked in all yet. I haven't had time to look through everything. And I'll see. I found some white ones like them. I found the brown ones like them, but I don't know if I had any more green ones. I should have kept some of the green ones for myself, actually, because I really love them. But it's so funny because I have tried to sell those pearls. They've probably been at least 4 or 5 different live shows. And then all 3 strands of them sold in that one show. It's just, you never know. And couldn't sell them, wasn't selling any of them. And then all 3 of those strands sold in that one show. You just never know what is going to happen and what people are going to want when they want it, right? Sandra says, I know, that's hilarious. I know, right? Not hilarious when you actually wanted some of them, right? But it's just, it is funny how that happens. Okay, so, boy, we had a really good price on these. We had these at 18. And then at one point, we dropped them to 16. But I'm going to go even further, and I'm going to drop them to 14 tonight. And let me see how many of them I have. I have 1, I have 2, and I have 3. These are vintage freshwater pearls. $14 a strand. What a deal. $14 a strand. Vintage freshwater pearls in this kind of golden color. This kind of brassy golden. Look at those. Aren't they pretty? Vintage freshwater pearls. When they're vintage, they are a better quality than most of the stuff you're going to find now for the price, because back then there was less pollution, and they took better care of them, left them in longer to mature. So you'll get a thicker nacre coating on them usually, which means more rainbows. And if you can see that, there are lots of colors coming out in these pearls. Really pretty. $14 only. Did I tell you? 16-inch strand. 16-inch strand. And these are approximately 6 millimeter pearls. SIB 33. Sandra said, looked in my stash, no green in that style. I have round. Yep, those are really special. That's why I was going to keep one for myself. I did not honestly expect all 3 of them to sell, but they did. Sometimes I often joke, as you'll see me joke here, like, you're not going to take that last one. You don't want that last one. And, that's done in play, because I know, especially those, I did not really think all 3 of them were going to sell. And then me having requests for even more. We sold 1 of the 33 so far. Thank you so much. We have 2 of these still available. People know those are good deals for those pearls. We've got good pearls. If you've ever bought from us. We have a ton of vintage pearls in our online store too. You generally get better deals here on the live show when we show them, but some of our higher end ones that we can't discount too much are in the online store. So if you've never checked out allegorygallery.com, check out our vintage freshwater pearls there. I just went through the box because we're moving inventory around at the cottage, and I found the box of vintage pearls that most of them are in, and I started pulling them out, and I was amazed. I was like, how do we have such pretty pearls here at this price? Sometimes I amaze myself. Fish charms. What's summer but fishing, right? Especially around here. You get a whole little lot of them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 little fish charms, $2 only. $2, 15.5 millimeters by 6. $2 only for the little fish charms. The back, they are on one side. The back is flat. So they look like that. But great charms for charm bracelets. A little play around with those. SIB 34, $2. Can't beat that with a stick. SIB 35. Chris says, oh, you got to send us an email, Chris. Remember, send us an email. I can't take claims over the comments because they disappear, especially on YouTube. YouTube comments, I can't see them after the show ends. Sometimes they pop up, sometimes they don't, and I don't know why. But send your email to info@allegorygallery.com, and we'll get those out for you. What am I doing? What was this? Okay. SIB 34, we're on SIB 35. These were 16 a pair. I'm going to do them for 14 for the pair. Remember, we only take claims via email. So send those emails in. We just sold another one of the 33s, so we only have one left. We've got 2 requests already for the 33s in email. We only got 1 left. If you would like it, make sure you get us that email. These are these. SIB 35. They were $16, bringing them down to $14 for the pair. These lampwork glass. There's the holes through that way, top to bottom. Floral beads. They're flat on the back. And you have the flowers on top. And they are approximately 20 millimeters. 20 millimeters. All right, we just sold the last 33. Thank you so much. We'll take that off. Take those off so they don't entice anyone else. They are all sold out. Thank you, thank you. And let's move these down. Nobody wants the fish? What? SIB. No fisher people out there? SIB 36. I do not fish, so I can't. I'm not going to be using the fish. I don't fish. I've never liked fishing. I used to fish when I was younger. My family, we lived by a lake, and so we would go out sometimes and fish. And you know, when you're young, you don't always realize things. But then I started I was like, these fish are getting their lips and things all like the needles or the hooks are going through them. And I can't, So that's why I became a vegetarian though. So that's me. So now I don't fish because I feel like even catch and release, I feel like I don't need to do that. But I know it was fun. It was relaxing. I should say that. It was relaxing. And there is like that dopamine hit when you get a fish on the line. Like I do kind of miss that, but um, I can't justify it to myself anymore. SIB 36, these are all lampwork beads. This is a whole little series of handmade artisan lampwork beads. The maker has been lost to us since. Andrew collects lampwork, and he collected it even before we had a store and before he ever thought he would be selling beads. And so some of the maker names have, gone astray. Remember, says the first fish I caught was through the eye, and that was my last time fishing. That would have been, that would have done it for me right then and there too. But mine was usually just through the cheeks and all that, and I'm like, and as a kid you don't realize because your adults are telling you it's okay, but as you come to make your own decisions on these things, I just can't do it. I have nothing wrong with no problem with people who do it, especially if you eat it, but it's not for me. So these are all beautiful little lampwork beads. There are two of these rondelles. There are two semi-similar, like these two they could be a good asymmetrical. You could use them asymmetrically, a nice little pair of earrings asymmetrical because they have the same colors and the little white dimples to pull them together. But they're a different design. And then you get this wild cube, which I think is really interesting. And I do not see lampwork like this very often. So I think that's really cool. That was $20 for the lot of them, bringing it down to $18. All right, let me put some of these away. Nobody wants these little flowers. How about this? Okay, I'm going to bring these down to 22. These were 28, 24. I'm going to go one more time to 22 to see if that catches anybody's fancy. I was going to say catches anyone's eye, but then the fish through the eye. I saw that comment. I was like, oh, that's not great. So there it is, $22 now. Less than $6 each. Is that $5.50 each? It's a really good deal for lampwork flowers. If you want those, SIB 30, that price is not going to last long. They're going to go back up. Okay. Nobody wanted just $4 pair. Nobody wanted the $4 pair. Oh, SIB 36 has sold. Thank you so much. This little pair, $4. Nobody wants $4 for a pair? You make a pair of earrings out of that and sell it for $16. Quadruple your price. These, $12 each. Those are still available. I never know what y'all are going to pick. That's kind of the fun of it. Throwing stuff out there and see what you grab onto. So 36 has sold. I'm going to put those away. Okay, 34. Fish, still there. I'm not going to sell them now after I told my fish stories. 35. Lampwork glass flowers. There's a lot of work on these. Like, look at those individual flowers on there. They're really well done. And these ones are kind of opaque. And then these ones are kind of a little bit transparent. And so they could also be kind of a little bit asymmetrical, right? Because they're the same colors, but one is opaque and one is more transparent glass. It's a little bit of a different look. So that's kind of cool. Sandra says, I really like the pink opals. They're dreamy. They're still available too. Nobody's gotten any of the pink opals. That's SIB 29. That's a really good price. The price goes back up later. Just saying, because those will go right into the store. Those are another thing. They'll either go into the online store or they'll go right into the store. Because I don't think I have pink opals up at the store right now. And let me just see something. What is 75 minus 25%? What do I have them at? 58. That is just a little. Normally we have like 20% off sales if we do it in the store. That would be a little bit better than a 20% sale. 25%, if you do it at 25, then it goes down to like 56.25. If I actually start them at the 75 price, which we'll see once I put them in the online store. Usually they go up a little bit from that price if I have to do all the picture taking and all of that. So you always get, we always try and give you the best price on the newest kind of receipt stuff that we get in here on these lives. What was my last one? 36. SIB 37. Those of you who follow us know that though, right? You know that. These are beautiful lampwork glass beads. Lampwork? Or furnace? Lampwork or furnace? I don't know. I think this is Rosemary Diem, I believe, made these. And these are so cool. I don't know if these are furnace or if they're lampwork. They look like furnace, but in a matte. I don't see that in big. These are really cool. I don't even know. Like, we have this old card here that was in with these, but I don't know that name. But look how cool those are. They're all different sizes. Like, there's like, these two are kind of the same size, and these three are kind of the same size. And there's this and this. And these are about 11.5 by 11.5 by 10.5. With that kind of light lime green again. But their holes are big enough that you could slide other beads. Like, if you have, like, how awesome, now I'm thinking about it. Like, if you take some of our neon apatite faceted, like the microfaceted, and strung it through here and just had that as a bead on a strand. Let me see, do I have any of that here? Now I'm starting to put stuff together in my head. I really like these. I don't know where these came from. I probably shouldn't even have done that discount on them because these are really cool. I need to resort everything back into bags and drawers again. I have too much. It's just all here. Oh, but these. Look at these, everybody. Some of y'all have these. I have one strand left of these. I'm not showing this in the show tonight, but if anyone's interested, you can ask me about it. These are these Hardy opals. These are a dyed opal, but they're a high quality where the dye has not overtaken the opal quality. So you still see beautiful colors and reflections through the dye work. Sometimes the dye just cancels out the opal, or the opal that is dyed was not a high quality one to begin with. Our vendor took high quality opals and dyed them to make this beautiful strand. But look how fun. Look how fun. Let me see if I can, like, Just something as simple as that. And you could use, I'm just using these opals because it's the first thing I found, but like neon apatite to put through there, or use colors that are, opposites. Terry says that should go in your design idea book, right? I should have a design idea book. This is where I design idea on live on the show. But look how cool. I think that's so nice. And it just really adds something to, like, it changes that entire necklace. Like, that necklace is beautiful as it is, but that just adds a little something to it and makes it even more special, which means if you sell things, it also ups the price, right? Like, I would sell this necklace a lot more than just the opal necklace itself. That looks like you did something to that, right? You made something, you designed something different. And so I love these. $18 for the whole set of those. SIB 37. And if you're interested in these opals, we did them once for, they're normally, what are they normally? They're normally $120. They're normally $120, and we do them for 80. 80. There you go. There you go. Ba-ba-ba-da-ba. Okay, what is next? What is next? Sandra says, wait, that's my necklace, LOL. You have one of these, don't you? Don't you have one of these? Or do you want that one? Maybe you want that one. If you do, let me know. But I think you have one. I'm pretty sure you have one. Okay, what am I doing? What am I doing? I'm continuing on. Sandra says, I have two. I thought, yeah, because you got good deals on them, right? And they are worth it. SIB 38. You want a third one, Sandra? I only got the one left. You want a third one? Good deal. Not gonna find them anywhere else like that. Okay. Except in your stash, right? Let's see here. Now I'm just getting silly. I need to finish this tonight. Let's see what we got here. Is there? I need to check this. Okay. Let's do. This was 36. Let's bring it down to 28. $28. SIB 38. This is a lampwork glass floral grouping, floral set with leaves. You get all these beads. They were $36 for the group. Now they are 28. 28 for this show only. That's a really good price for a lampwork set like this. If you know, you know, right? If you know, you know. If you're a lampwork person, you know lampwork is an expensive little hobby most of the time. We try and make it less expensive for you when we can. And those are, just to give you an idea, the end ones are about 20 millimeters. The big one in the center is about 24. No, 25. And the leaves are about 20 and a half. And it's SIB 38. One of those only. One of those only. SIB 39. Stone shell. Let's see, we had this at 12. I'm gonna bring it down to 8. $8 only? What? Now, I'm not 100% sure what stone this is that they dyed. It is some kind of a dyed stone. And I hate when I can't tell you. I wish I could tell you, but I can't tell you. It is an 11-inch strand, and it's one of these wavy cut. I love these vintage wavy cut beads. But it's a beautiful pink. Sometimes it looks like quartz, but like that doesn't look like quartz. That looks like quartz. So that's why I can't 100% tell. But it's pretty, and it's a cool cut, and it's a vintage cut, and you don't see it all over the place, and it's only $8. You get 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 beads on there for $8. They're about 18 millimeters by 24.5. SIB 39. One strand of it. Let me put the fish away because nobody wants them. Goodbye, fish. Goodbye, fish. In 35, 37, 38, 39. Sandra, I'm 100% surprised you haven't gotten these. Just saying. I know you're not really too big into lamp work, but these are so much fun. I just thought that would be your style. They're very sophisticated and simple. I think the matte finish makes them very sophisticated, and they can be added to anything. I'm surprised you didn't. Not to call you out, but I called you out, right? SIB 40. You're the one mostly talking to me right now, so that's why you get called out. Let's see here. And last one tonight was $16. I'm going to bring him down to $14. Kimberly is here. She says, but you did call me out. I know I did. I know. Not to do it, but to do it. Thank you for being here, Kimberly. Still here, hanging out, watching and entering the data from my last return. Oh, that must feel good. That must feel good. Sandra says, can I pay next week? That probably would be okay. That would probably be okay. May is here. It says, hi all, you're still on. Yeah, I'm on the last one. The last one, May. Just finished up. We're finishing up. Is this shell strand. And what's summer without some shell? We've had some shell in the show, but I love, love, love this green shell. Super light green. Well, super light shell, but also light green. It has some brown and some green. I love these. I don't know what kind of shell. I don't know what creature this came from, but it's vintage. It's not a modern one. We try and get vintage shell, so we're vegetarians. We try not to harm the creatures. But these have dots along the side of the shell, and they're so different and so light. They're $14 now for the strand. It's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 beads or shells on the strand. And he's taking a break from doing dishes. It's always worth taking a break from doing dishes. I hate doing dishes. 23 and a half by 35 and a half millimeters. One strand available. And that, my friends, is the show. So if you were waiting till the end to send in that email, make sure you send in that email. Look at the algae on those, right? Looks like it. Does kind of look like it. Those are fabulous, says Kimberly. Yeah, they are. Yes, they are. Look at them up close. Look at them all up close. Look at those. Ooh. Ooh. So pretty. So pretty. All right, we just sold 37. Thank you out there. Grabbing 37. That has sold. These prices are generally available for about 2 to 3 days after the show. After 2 to 3 days, everything gets put back, and I probably will not be able to locate these exact lots again, just to be 100% honest. So grab them as soon as you can. You can always request things if you see something in a show that's much older and I can look around for it. And we can talk about the price, if the price is still valid or not. So always feel free to watch any of our older shows too, but especially if you see a title that calls out to you. But yeah, it's always easiest if you watch live or do a rewatch within a few days, because then things are still grabbable and in a place where I know where they are. All right. Thank you all for hanging out with me, for talking food and talking designing and talking all the good things with me. I really appreciate it. I think Andrew is going to start making his way back tomorrow at some point. And I don't know if he's going to make it back. I doubt he'll be back for the live tomorrow. But he will be back probably sometime early Saturday morning. So late Friday night. And then we're going to be closed in the store on Saturday in Johnstown because I'm going to be probably here to spend the day with him, as long as he makes it back and doesn't decide to go all the way just down to North Carolina. So we'll spend the day together a little bit doing some stuff, probably making some more enamel stuff and getting his laundry done before he moves on to do his next class in North Carolina. So maybe we'll do a little quick thing on Saturday and say hi to him on the live, on a special Saturday live or something, and just so you all can say hi too, because it's been a while. And so that's it. Thank you all so much. Have a great evening, and we will see you back here sometime tomorrow. I don't know if I'll do it from the store tomorrow earlier in the day or later in the evening. I kind of like the early in the day thing at the store. So if the store is slow, I might do that, and we'll hang out in the afternoon and show you some more stuff from the store. All right. Thanks so much, everyone. Have a great one. Bye, everybody.